PowerBusinessTechnology.com.
At Power Business Technology, we're not another big box corporation. We're your neighbors, locally owned and operated. We know what businesses like yours need, from reliable printers to high-performance copiers. We'll help you find the right solution with personal service you just can't get online. Need setup or support? We're just down the road and always happy to help. Power Business Technology, family hometown service with big-time solutions. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Guys, tired all the time, gaining weight, low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is making it easier to get answers with a comprehensive wellness panel. It's not just a lab test, it's where better performance begins. Our providers will check your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. A $400 value for just $99, or free if you start treatment. Over 120,000 men have trusted Revive to restore their energy, mood, and confidence. So if you're ready to feel better and live stronger, call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Offer ends November 30th. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's happening for the Black Friday sales event?
We have the best savings yet on new 2025 Ram 1500 Tradesman Crew Cabs, starting at only $34,995 with up to $12,500 off MSRP. Or save thousands with $5,250 off MSRP and 0% financing for 72 months.
And did I hear you got the Hemi back?
Yep, we have 450 new Rams available, including the 5.7-liter Hemi, and we have 40 Hemis in stock. Plus, with our award-winning customer service, you won't find a better combination of selection, service, and savings than at Hoblet Dodge.
Search, select, and save at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$12,500 total net savings on select new 2025 Ram 1500 after $7,250 factory rebates and $5,250 dealer discounts. Rebates include $2,000 select inventory cash, $500 on the job upfit, must show eligible upfit. $34,995 net price after rebates. VIN number 170493. 0% financing for well-qualified buyers on approved credit through Stellantis Financial. Must have 720 plus FICO score. $13.89 per thousand borrowed. See dealer for details.
KHD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time thrown down by the league.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports, 1140. Feeding your passion for local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SactownSports.com and the Sactown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys.
Man, this team, huh? There's always something going on. They're more interesting off the court than on the court many times. And they play again tonight. It's Kayla Anderson, Whitey Gleason, Jay Johnson. Getting ready for the Kings and the Hawks tonight. Kayla was just pointing out to me one thing to look forward to tonight from the Kings standpoint, getting away from all of the drama and the swirling questions. City Edition uniforms tonight, huh?
Yeah. Great to be here with you guys, by the way, on this fine Wednesday.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Wednesday, hump day, whatever you want to call it, and another game day. And I just was showing you what the Kings just put out on their social media on Instagram. I think they're cool. And I know some people have their opinions on, there's like a different type of purple in it. I would call it like a lavender almost. But it's a little different from, I think, what you guys have seen in the past. But
yes,
I like the look.
Yeah, it's supposedly, as we said yesterday, a different shade of purple than the Kings have ever worn before.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to more closely approximate the color of the beam itself.
That's what it was.
So it's beam purple.
Okay.
A new shade, beam purple.
Yeah, that just give it its own name, right? No lavender, nothing. It'll be called beam purple from now on out. I like it.
Yeah, so Zach LaVine out tonight. Looks like Domantas Sabonis questionable, Malik Monk questionable. No Trae Young, of course, for the Atlanta Hawks. I just where do you start
just laugh
after yesterday? What do you think Doug Christie was talking about? Where do you think that was coming from?
Yeah, let's start with that because that actually
who was he yelling at?
Started the whole night.
Because
usually a presser before the game, you're not going to take anything really from it and talk about it the next day, but that is what everybody is talking about today. And I had actually tuned in live for it to watch it, and I was like, oh, okay, what is this? He seems like he's talking with some conviction. I turned it up and, went into kind of saying, you haters and all this stuff, like, we're going to prove you wrong. And he, to me, comes across as a very passionate, is very set in his messaging. And he's not going to veer away from that, from everything that I have seen. And with his playing in the past, like the type of player he was. And so to me, it was like something obviously set him off earlier in the day. And I know that there was some stuff from Carmichael Dave's, the morning show with Jason Ross, and there was some aggregate sites that put it out there and kind of flipped some things. But with saying that, there were a lot of comments that were being made all over social media. I don't think it's necessarily anybody who said something specifically in the media here, but there are a lot of comments that were then brought on to that article. And I feel like even just a couple that he might have seen or a national article that he might have read, he takes a lot of pride in what he does, this team and this city. And I think he was just pretty much like, we're going to set the tone from the start of this game. And this is my message. I'm not going to take questions, which he didn't. And maybe that gives his team a little bit of a spark, which, by the way, they played well for 3 quarters. Doesn't get the job done. That doesn't win a game. But I will say I felt like the city even, and the noise, and it was on NBC, I felt like it was exciting to start the game and through really 3 quarters. And then, of course, we all know what happened. But it was almost just like, this is my message. I don't care that it's coming before the Nuggets game. We know that they're a tough team. I'm going to just say it now.
Yeah. He's from your neck of the woods.
Yes. And I believe he played basketball at Rainier Beach High School. Mm-hmm. Is that correct? And
yes.
My high school used to play them a lot in state, Rainier Beach. Doug's a little older than me, but I am very familiar. Rainier Beach is like a no-nonsense. But they dished out some really good players. And they play with passion. Mm-hmm. And they're no-nonsense. Like, we watched him play all the time. So he's
what Doug was as a player, what he was yesterday.
From. Yeah.
You mentioned the morning show, and J-Ross said something today that really resonated with me as, I've been listening to all this and trying to figure out, okay, where's this coming from? Some of it seems obvious, some of it not so obvious. J-Ross said if you listen very closely to the words he used, not just the tone, but the words he used, Doug Christie talked a lot about the organization is together. And I hadn't really considered that. It's like, okay, so I think part of it, my interpretation, Doug Christie was making clear we're all on the same page here. Maybe some of that was a pushback on the notions that, maybe he's not going to be there long, or just what he says this, but then he's doing that. So maybe he was just speaking to you. Look, it's got to be frustrating when you're doing things and people criticize you for things and they have no idea why you're doing them. Yeah. Sometimes even when it's not even my choice necessarily. So I would guess some of it was that frustration. And to me, my takeaway is Doug Christie explaining we're all on the same page here and we're coming. And it doesn't look like it right now because we got a lot of things we got to figure out. But make no mistake, in his mind, we are coming.
I think as a collective unit of fans and media, when we really think about what this is right now, which is a 3-win team, didn't we all kind of talk about this could be the situation?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying we don't have the right to be, saying, we need more from them, or, how is this going to work out? And fans have every freaking right in the world to think what they want. Mm-hmm. You're the fans. You're the ones that pay the money and support the team. But we did kind of see that this could happen at this point of the season. And I don't think they oversold like we're going to be some playoff contending team.
Yeah. Scott Perry, to my knowledge, since he's been here, has not mentioned the word playoffs once in regards to this is what we're going to do or what we hope to do. I don't think that's come out of his mouth once publicly. So, yeah. Did you have anything on that, Jane? I don't want to put you on the spot. And I know you have known Coach Christie a long time. Mm-hmm. And if you don't want to comment on that, I certainly would understand. But if you do, I think we'd all love to know what you got to say.
Yeah, I mean, TBD for me. TBD. I think you could take it in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different ways. I heard both the ways that you guys have taken it, and Jay Ross took it as well. Whitey, you kind of spoke to what Jay Ross spoke about. TBD. I'm interested in how it transitions and what it transforms into for this team And next couple of weeks, if we're and I don't know. I still haven't heard Carmichael Dave say he's reporting. Feels like it's his opinion, but I've seen a couple other people start to mention that there might be some things on the move. We'll see how it plays out. So I'm just going to reserve judgment for the next couple of weeks until something happens.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, as far as the Carmichael Dave, the veracity of what he has to say, we can only guess. I feel pretty good about my guess, but I'll also say this, full disclosure, full transparency. You may have seen this on social media. Our friend, Matt George, posted, I saw it this morning, maybe he posted it last night. He said on his pod, Locked on Kings, he has learned what the Kings' plan is, and he's going to talk about that tomorrow.
Yep.
And to me, for Carmichael Dave to come out and say, look, this is what they're doing, and then Matt George, who's also very tied in to good sources, for him to also come out later that same day and say, here's what they're doing. To me, it's pretty clear that the team is letting people know the direction in which this is all headed.
And this happens, right, in a market, in any market really, but you're always going to have people who have direct sources.
Yeah.
And those, believe me, management knows what they're doing. There are people that feed information to certain people because they know it can get out there. And I'm not saying that's exactly what's happening here, but it sounds like there is a message that they do want to get out here and not to shock people completely when it happens. And I don't think it's going to be something that happens, all in 1 week or all in one day. I think it's going to be slowly happening over the next few months.
Right.
And then obviously the trade deadline, when that comes, we'll see what happens. But I think it's almost like, hey, we're preparing you for this could happen. So if your favorite player is traded, or if your favorite player is no longer here, we kind of gave you the cookie crumbles to that situation.
Yeah. And just to be clear, in no way, shape, or form am I criticizing anybody for any of that. It's just an observation. Yep. Oh, okay, it's interesting what's going on. I think you're right, Kayla. But I think that leaves us as fans with, as we discussed yesterday, that awkward kind of uvula portion of the schedule. Because it's like, okay, so something's going to happen. Some of these guys might not be here. That's what they're working on. All right, but what about the game? They lost last night. They got a game tonight. And in a way, given what we think is going on here, breaking down, and Jay says this all the time, breaking down, the ins and the outs and this play and that substitution, I almost feel like it's missing the point right now.
Exactly.
But at the same time, we got games, and we're basketball fans.
But doesn't it kind of show that the Kings fans, the Kingdom, kind of has their goals and aspirations and their eyes set on something completely different?
Yeah, I think so.
And then at the same time, you get a daily reminder of what could be or what is not happening, right? And so then you turn your attention right back to that and say, but you know what? Dennis Schroeder is, 5-5-10 in his last 3 games, or, this person's not playing. And then all of a sudden, rebuild? Oh, let's talk about that too. So it's a confusing time in many different ways.
It is.
And that's why when we talked about it briefly yesterday, and that's why I continue to say TBD for me is there's really a 50-50 split. But in retrospect, people tend to lean on each side of the fence when they see fit. When they have an argument against, Keon's not playing. That's why we need to do this. And then next thing you know, it's like, but Russ did this. That's why he's got to start. But those same people were screaming they didn't want Russ, 3-4 weeks ago. And so it's just a confusing time right now. I think for the greater good, we all want to win. And Kayla, you said it. Nothing against anybody. As a fan, you want your squad to win.
Right.
I don't know a person that's walking around like, you know what? Unless you're a Raider or a Cowboy or you're a Giant or something, not playing. But no one wants their team to walk out to the field, court, or anything and take a loss.
Yeah.
We're all rooting for a win. So it's interesting that the Kingdom is separated,
Jay.
brother.
Yes.
It's funny
odd
style
time.
right now.
Yeah.
You know what I kind of relate this to, and I hope that most of you know what this is. And just think about it for a minute, because I played it a lot as a kid. The game of Operation. Right? Where
move funny bone.
Exactly. Where you're just like one little, you're trying to figure out how to operate and move around this game. But one little thing, you're going to get the buzzer. And I feel like this is what the organization's trying to do, what fans are trying to do, and it's just like everywhere you go, you're hitting the buzzer, the wire, or whatever it is. That I don't know why it just feels like a game of operation now, but I feel like that's what we're navigating through.
I think they should have a 49er version of Operation because they've got so many injuries. The patient should be a 49er player on there.
A defensive player at that.
I think one of the big questions for the Kings that is unanswerable for us or for them, Jay and I touched on it yesterday late in the show, is, well, how are fans going to feel about this? Now, we can quibble about, is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? It looks like they're doing it now. So that ship, if it hasn't sailed, it's just about to depart. We can debate it, but that they're heading in that direction of trying to retool, rebuild, whatever term you want to use. But how are fans going to feel about it once it starts? If the roster gets younger and maybe not as talented, frankly, not as experienced, and the losses become more frequent, how are fans going to tolerate that? I think that's a big question. And honestly, like I said, I don't think anybody knows.
No, and what I do have faith in, and I'm not just sucking up to Sacramento because I'm new here. I've been a lot of places. I've covered a lot of teams. And some of these places, they've had the teams that they've had the privilege of winning. But some of these places, I've been around teams that they don't have the privilege of winning, and they've had to go through really tough times. And I wasn't directly in Detroit, but I knew a lot of people with the Detroit organization for the Lions. And we all know the depths of what that they've been in. And those fans are so freaking loyal, even through the really, really bad times and the doubts of the Dan Campbell hire early on, because there was doubts. Those fans stuck with it. And obviously they have not won a Super Bowl yet, but they have gotten past the really bad parts of, year after year that they were dealing with. And I do feel like this fan base is so strong and so dedicated. It's going to take a lot, like a pill to swallow, I think, to know what's going to happen in the next 2 years and to see some of the games that you're going to probably have to see. But I do really feel like if they stick with it, which I know they will, like they're going to get over this hump. I think they feel that. And I feel with Doug Christie, even though he's a first-year head coach, if him and Scott Perry are really truly aligned and they let them fulfill their job, I think that they'll get back on track. But it's going to take a minute.
Mm-hmm. Curtis, the Ace fan, texts in with hashtag loser for boozer. So
loser for boozer.
That's where some fans.
Yep. Isn't that Allen's guy too?
That's
Boozer?
One of them. Allen's got so many
guys.
He's
got so many, man.
Yeah. How can you keep track? The other thing is you end up in a spot where you're running out of options if you're worried about, wow, if we tear it down, will people stop coming? And then, well, hold on. Do you see any empty seats here as it is now? Yeah, I mean, it has been the last few nights has been a little lighter than we usually see. My point is, I think fans have already responded to this like, yeah, this isn't it. Mm-hmm. So if you're worried about driving fans away, some fans, it appears to me, have already been driven away.
Yeah, I think so too. And really, I think even to start the season, people are not dumb. Like they know what was going on here with the roster.
Yeah.
If you know basketball, which people know basketball here, like they knew that this roster wasn't exactly made for what Doug Christie wants to execute. And we all talked about it, and people chimed in on and called in here during, the preseason and before that. So I think y'all knew kind of what was going on and thought, okay, this isn't probably going to be what I want to see this year.
Yeah. It's also very interesting that Dave mentioned yesterday and again today, December, I think he mentioned the date, December 15th.
That was like specific.
Yeah. He had said yesterday, he said that, and then he said, isn't that the first date you can trade people? And I think J. Ross said, well, it's the first date you could trade some players. I'm not sure why that date specifically has the significance. I noticed that the play-in tournament, I think, ends on the 16th. I don't know if somebody's like, well, let's wait and see how we do in the play-in tournament before we start to move pieces. But at the very least, one thing that's comforting, I think, for Kings fans, it's comforting for me as somebody who wants to see the Kings do well. It does appear that Scott Perry has a plan and that they are pursuing it. And in the past, the Kings have not been great at formulating a plan and then sticking with it. And sometimes you've had, well, he has this plan, but he has that plan, or she has that plan. So at least they're off to a decent start. They've got a long ways to go. And there's a lot of minds that can be changed, and there's a lot of hurdles in the way. There's impediments to rebuilding currently on the roster. But I'm encouraged that it looks like, okay, they have a plan. Thank goodness.
Yeah, and maybe that's what Doug's real message, like you said, was. As much conviction that he had behind it, that it seemed like he was aggravated and irritated by maybe some of the doubters out there. Maybe the more so point of it was to say, by the way, we are aligned, we do have a plan, but it's not going to happen overnight. And we all know that's not going to happen overnight, right? But, I mean, if you're a fan or if you're a team or a media person, you always want to see a team do well. Like, you want to cover a winning team. But there's just going to be
covering the Cowboys or the Raiders,
and that's
Giants.
I guess that's never going to happen, right?
Texas
A&M,
go.
cover or be a fan at your own risk.
Right.
So, but yeah, I thought it was interesting, and he talked after the game as well. And somebody did ask him. Pardon me, I did not remember the media member who asked him specifically, were you pointing out anybody that you were talking about earlier? He did say no, just in general. Like, if you're on the bandwagon now, stay on it, through the bad times, through the good times. If you're a hater, well, don't be coming and knocking on the door if we start winning here in the future, when we start winning.
That's ultimately what makes the most sense to me, is just his message was, look, you may think we don't know what we're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. You don't recognize what we are doing. And make no mistake, we're doing something. We'll see if it works out. You may not like it, but we're not just a bunch of chickens with our head cut off running around.
Do you guys think that to me, and this is just my opinion, I don't need anybody saying
Going
Jay
after
said
Dave?
this or no. Jay said, he said this and talked to Doug. This is strictly my opinion. Do you think he had a conversation with Scott Perry in the front office before he walked out there and said that? Or do you think he went out there?
But I bet he did.
Yeah.
I think Scott Perry's been having a lot of conversations with a lot of people.
Yep. If they're aligned,
what do you think,
Jay?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think he was given, and this is, I speak from this standpoint. We here, part of the kingdom, Kayla, you're becoming part of it. You're learning it. We know that the Kings and the people who observe the Kings believe they can be kind of eggshellish, right? They can be soft at certain points in times when it comes to critiquing, criticism, and negative connotation towards their organization. We've heard that throughout the NBA circles for quite a bit. You can't tell me that your head coach runs up there and says what he said and didn't have a conversation with the powers that be above him. And that's something that I haven't really heard anybody talk about.
That's a great point.
Great point.
I truly believe the way Coach went out there and said, we're aligned.
Yep.
We're rocking and rolling.
Then he laid
We're
down
together.
the seven principles.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Yeah.
He said defense and read all these different things. And then if you really take a step back and you pay attention, what has he consistently talked about, which is probably the most critiqued move this year so far, is Keon not getting certain amount of minutes, coming in at the fourth quarter Keon. And he's consistently said, Keon's going to play.
Yep.
There's a log jam. Things will work itself out. There's going to be a rhyme to this reason. You can't tell me he didn't have a conversation with Scott Perry.
Right. To me, the Keon thing is obvious. Could be wrong, but to me, it's we like Keon. We know what he can do. We want to play the other guys that we're hoping draw the interest of other teams, and Keon is a part of what we're doing. But right now, it makes more sense for us to play some of those other guys that we're hoping other teams say, ooh, we like him.
Yep, like the
I
value.
could be wrong, but to me, that's the only thing that makes sense.
And you always have the risk of, we'll see what happens moving forward with some of these guys. You always have the risk of injury with the amount of minutes that you're going to give these guys, that they could be tradable. But at the same time, I get it. Like, sometimes it's more so you're going to put them out there. You're not going to bench them because then it's like, well, what's wrong? But Keon Ellis did play in the first quarter yesterday. Now, his minutes were not where I'm sure.
I know, that was like, they just did the old switcheroo.
I thought that was
we'll
interesting.
Play him early, then people won't complain.
Yeah. It was not fourth quarter Keon. It was first quarter Keon.
Yeah.
So
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Ashley joins us on Sactown Sports. Hey, Ashley, how are you? What do you make of all this?
I'm doing all right. And honestly, my main thing that I want to talk about is going to be Russell Westbrook. And the reason why, I think no matter which direction you want to go, whether you want to tank or you want to win as many as you can this season, I think Westbrook should be in the starting lineup. I'm not saying you need to increase his minutes, but I'm saying he needs to be a starter. And the reason why is you could have guys like even veterans like Monk on the bench while Westbrook is starting, and some of these young guys are going to be on the bench, and you say you have Monk point out when rookies need to be taking note of Westbrook and what he's doing, because Westbrook, he provides everything this team needs. Rebounding, if we need it, he's got it. If we need passing, he's distributing. And not only that, but he's a capable ball handler, and he's a Hall of Famer, not like Vince, but he's still got juice left in him. And you think that Shea got really, really good by not paying attention to someone like a Chris Paul or something like that? This is a perfect chance to develop these guys while also allowing them to watch a future Hall of Famer at work.
Gotcha, Ashley. Thanks. The other thing about Westbrook right now, he's somebody who you want to go watch.
Yeah. He actually, even if they're losing, but he's continuing to play consistent, exciting basketball. Yeah. You want, and I think just Schroeder in general needs to probably maybe take a seat.
Something's going on with him. I think it's physical.
I think so too.
Yeah. Kyle Draper going to join us about 20 minutes when we come back. More on the Kings also. How about some good news for 49er fans? We've got some next on Sactown Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Hawks.
Tip off at 7. Your exclusive home for Kings basketball.
Is Sactown Sports 1140.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Progressive has great customer service, and it's easy to reach us because great and easy is the way to be. Like salads. Great for you, and so easy you can put any group of veggies in a bowl and it's a salad. A full carrot with a head of cabbage? Weird, but still a salad. 1 radish and a couple of green beans? Also a salad. 14 blueberries, half an onion, and a sunchoke? Odd, yes, but an odd salad. So contact Progressive's customer service by phone, app, or online. It's great and easy, just like salad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Play and win to take your loyalty to new heights at Sky River Casino. Join Sky River Rewards today for a chance to receive up to $2,500 in free play. Plus, you'll be in the know about upcoming special events and offers. Just minutes from Sacramento, right off Highway 99 in Elk Grove. Join in the fun with rewards that add up and up. Sky's the limit at Sky River Casino. Visit us to see how. Must be 21 or over. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you. Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heat and Air. Right now, breaking news, they're upgrading their offering to include plumbing, bringing that same expertise and experience to the plumbing space. They're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy Home Pros. You hear me talk about them as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get second opinions on any HVAC service or replacement, and now you can get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. They'll come out to your house for free, and they'll give you a second opinion and almost certainly save you money. Oh, but wait, there's more. With winter coming up, how about a free furnace special? With full system installation, you're getting a free furnace, not a discounted furnace, a free furnace, and up to $4,000 in rebates while that funding lasts. So get there right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
The year was 1948. The Sacramento Symphony was founded. Harry Truman was president, and Jerry Mathers from Leave It to Beaver was born. And Walter Keyes opened his first Naturewood home furnishing store 77 years ago on 25th and Broadway. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with Golf to Go. All those many years ago, the Keyes family promised integrity and quality in serving families just like yours and mine. Near as I can tell, Walter would have been pretty proud to know that those same values are evident today at Naturewood Home Furnishings. The Naturewood team takes great pride and significant effort to offer Northern California families a vast selection of home furnishings. Furnishings that not only last for generations, but also lead to everlasting memories of cherished times. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings now during their Veterans Day Save the Tax sale and get started making your own brand of memories. The Keyes family would love to hear them. Naturewood Home Furnishings off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
All the Denver Nuggets have to do is advance it to the front court. They have done that, and they will chalk up their 7th consecutive win against the Sacramento Kings. The final score is the horn sounds 122-108. Denver answering all the way down the stretch after the Kings had made it a 1-point game.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Yeah, I mentioned we have some good news for 49er fans. We'll get to that. But as far as the Kings go, a lot of comments here about Herr Schroeder, who is definitely struggling. I thought it was very interesting when we talked to Kyle Draper, who's going to join us here in about 10 minutes. Last time we talked to Kyle, he said, I don't know, I haven't talked to anybody, but I think maybe Russ being there and kind of taking things over, maybe Dennis is not comfortable with that. And I know Coach Christie has mentioned that Dennis has been injured. He's had a hip injury, an ankle injury. Right now, to me, I watch him play and I say, oh, he's not right.
Yeah, he actually had mentioned, Coach Christie had mentioned in the presser after the Timberwolves loss, he briefly mentioned it, but I caught it that he was kind of hobbled or he was hobbling.
Yeah,
Did you get
then
that
he got
word?
right off of that. Yeah,
and he got right off
but
of
it. I'm not worried about him. But defense,
right.
It's all about
Back to the defense, though. Something is clearly going on with Schroeder. Now, I'll be real frank here in saying this because when he came here and I, started talking Kings with you guys here, I do like Schroeder, the mentality, and he plays with a chip. And when he mentioned, and he had some really good moments early on in the season, but it's just been the past few games, like you said, it seems like there might be something up with the physical part, and it is maybe hurting his confidence a little too, because, you say you're not comfortable, and then Draper described that yesterday in terms of why he might not be comfortable because of Russell Westbrook, like you just said, and maybe that point of view, but something's got to give at some point. So you either don't start him and have him work through it and the injury get better if it is that, or you just keep putting him out there, but he could be an issue. I mean, he's not playing well.
His jump shot is just flat out broken right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Image Rock with a question here in the chateau. Anyone know if the Kings are playing in their City Edition jerseys tonight? You know that. Yes.
They are.
Woohoo!
So maybe they can light the beam? Because literally that new beam color, the purple beam color, is going to be on the jerseys. So maybe they can actually light the beam here in their final home game before they hit the road again.
Right.
It will be lit in Sacramento.
Yes. Speak it to existence, baby.
I got to admit, the G-Man there, as Jay played the last few moments of the broadcast last night, sounded like his dauber might be down a little bit. I hate to hear that from the G-Man.
Man, I know, because I met him for the first time the other night, and what a guy, by the way. Just a pleasure to meet him, but to do this for as many years as he's done it. But yeah, I think it's sometimes like it's natural for you to be like,
Oh, yeah.
Not again.
Yeah. I think it's an old baseball term, Jay. I don't know. I don't know what it means, but he definitely. Don't you think he had his dauber down?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you could hear the, as I always say, the sultry tones of the G-Man. They weren't too sultry yesterday, and for good reason. I understanding because the fourth quarter the Nuggets pulled away in a couple of different spurts, and the G-Man gets excitable, just like anyone, right? He gets just as excited as fans. Doing the job. Shouts out to the legend, though. Jerry Reynolds getting a shout out yesterday, too.
That's right.
You saw that, huh?
Yeah. It's only two guys who've sat in this seat who really understand being a Kings fans. Rick Adelman and Jerry Reynolds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I shot a quick text to legend up.
Did you?
That's awesome.
No, I shot it to D and I told him, I said, man, that's dope. Salute for calling out Jerry Reynolds, man.
Yeah. So Jerry joins us today at 5. So I hope you have one of your flashback questions for me.
Oh, I got one of those. As soon as you told me, immediately. I went and checked out a few things. And but, I pulled that for a drop, too.
Yeah.
The legend.
Yeah, I heard he's got so many cool stories.
yeah.
Kevin was kind of talking about a couple before the show, and I'm like, I'm sure he's been through and seen so much.
Yeah, and my favorite part of our talks with him is towards the end, Jay has a throwback or flashback question, typically about a player that we've all heard about, but Jerry's like, yes, I coached against him, or I knew him well, or
I love it.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
So I look forward to that. So that's going to be at 5, and then, of course, Stevie Johnson at 4, and Kyle Draper coming up just about 6 minutes or so. Here's the good news for 49er fans.
Bring it.
It comes in 2 pieces. Piece 1, you don't like to see somebody injured or hurt, but this does probably work out in the 49ers' favor. Marvin Harrison Jr. out. He won't play this week because he had to have his appendix removed.
Yeah. By the way, it's funny because we were just talking about him at the end of Alan's show yesterday, and Alan was like, does this guy even want to play football? Because he just doesn't seem like it. Well, now we have an explanation of maybe why he's had a sour look on his face. Because his appendix has had to have been taken out. At least it didn't burst, but yeah, that's a big loss for them. Even though he doesn't seem to be wanting to play football, he's a big piece to that team.
And isn't this good news for the 49ers? Here's the next 4 quarterbacks they face.
Give it to me.
Assuming, unless something goes crazy. Jacoby Brissett.
Bang, bang, Niner Gang.
Bryce Young.
Niner Gang.
Dylan Gabriel.
Niner Gang.
Cam Ward.
Niner Gang.
That's the next 4 quarterbacks they face.
Hilarious.
It's 'tis the season.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Keeps on giving.
Oh, my gosh. I ride hard for Cam Ward, but I will say there ain't no way the Niners should be losing to that Tennessee team. But in all seriousness, those quarterbacks are nothing to be afraid of. But at the same time, the Niners got to go out there and act like they're playing, one of the top teams with the top quarterback with the defense they have right now.
Yes.
And they cannot allow any team to put up points so early and get into deficit, because that's really the games they've lost. It's not executing. Yeah, they come out sleepwalking. And I think even one of the guys, I can't remember who said it in the locker room after the loss to the Rams recently, was when we win a game or win 2 in a row, we almost come out and don't play with our hair on fire. You can't have that mentality.
Right. Yeah. Jay, who practiced today? Tricky Ricky P.
Tricky Ricky P.
It's tricky to rock around.
Come on now, man.
It's tricky.
We might be feeling pretty good heading into this weekend.
Yeah.
And no matter what, unless there's a tie, Seattle on the Rams, somebody will take a L there. So we're, things are looking up, at least this week.
A little bit.
Yeah, this business week.
You are going to need some help from here.
Yep.
Because as of right now, 49ers on the outside looking in, but that help should be forthcoming because the Bears have a pretty difficult schedule. They play a lot of divisional games, and the 49ers, we just mention who they're playing. Then after that, Daniel Jones, and maybe he's already turned into a pumpkin too.
Yeah,
right?
You never know with Danny Dimes. I mean, he looks to be going in the direction of he's going to lead him to a playoff, victory or two. But who knows? We don't know enough. We haven't had enough proof from that guy. My question, though, is are they really going to start Brock Purdy? Because I am tired of this song and dance of like, well, he might be ready. Well, he might not be ready. Like, if he's ready, he's ready. If he's not, let's get on with this game we're playing here.
Caleb, we can tell you've been covering the Titans and not the Niners for too long because that's the MO for the 49ers.
Shanahan's deal.
You're talking about song and dance. He step and fetch it. He going to step out there and tap and he going to do it all.
The running man,
absolutely. Roger Rabbit, everything.
Christian McCaffrey was like, oh, he's fine until like the day of their first game. And then he's not playing. What?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, he has a calf injury. And then a few weeks later, oh, he's fine. He'll be ready to go here soon. Then it's like, oh, yeah, he has tendonitis in both of his Achilles tendons. Like, what?
He's actually been in the boot quietly.
Exactly,
no one knows.
right?
Yeah.
He had surgery,
So the wrinkle this year is with Brock Purdy, oh, yeah, he should be able to play. Then he doesn't. And the wrinkle is now Shanahan says he could have played last week.
Right.
We really needed him. Playoffs.
We really needed him. Yeah, he could have played.
Wasn't it, 3 weeks ago? It was like, well, I think John Lynch even said it during his show. He was like, hey, if it was playoffs, Brock would have played. No problem. But we're not going to rush him back.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we've already opened this practice window.
Yeah.
So that gives you 21 days. So we might lean on the 21st day and allow him to start practicing.
Yeah. So he's sitting there limping around with the clipboard. Oh, he could have played.
He could be back,
Not a whole Walker.
How much of that, Jay, do you think is just that old football coach thing of, well, you always want to leave the opponent guessing? I could see, Kayla and I were talking about this earlier. I could see Kyle's dad, telling him, oh, yeah, you never want to let the other team know what's coming. Keep them guessing, son.
Yeah, but that's agreed because that's the Shanahan MO for the most part.
Yes.
Now, I say Kyle, I don't necessarily remember that much about Mike doing these things when it comes to the injury report, but he's literally taking a page out of Belichick's book. So many people talked about the injury report and the Patriots. The 49ers are janky. They're janky with the not so much with the injury report, but how they go about it throughout each week and through the period of the season.
Right.
Man, we talk about it so many times, and CMC example is perfect.
And I think Brandon Ayuk now is playing into some of that, too.
He is.
I heard that he might not be back. Like, we went from maybe he was going to be back in a couple weeks or sooner to now he might not be playing this year. Which
Window's
is
not
crazy.
open yet.
Yeah.
When Kyle Shanahan says about a guy, oh, he should be back in a month or so, what that means is we have not alerted next to kin yet. But
Yes. Right?
That's it.
I'm just glad that Pearsall, at least we're getting some positive news because we really didn't hear much at all week to week about Pearsall.
Yeah.
Like we just were like, well, if he shows up on the field, he shows up on the field. But that is, in all seriousness, if he does play, to have more of a deep threat, that's going to be great to have. And he's not going to come right back out and be like 10 out of 10 Ricky, but it's going to be good to have him back.
So other than some injury questions, some good news for the Niners. Coming up, I don't know if we're going into outer space. We're going to go to the depths of the ocean. We'll see where Kyle Draper is, and we'll see if we can establish a suitable audio hookup for Drape's Takes coming up next on Sactown Sports.
Constipation with belly pain that keeps coming back and back and back. If your symptoms keep coming back, talk to your doctor. It could be irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C. Linzess could help you get ahead of it. Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that, and third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
Hi, I'm Kylie.
I'm John.
And I'm Garrison. And a little thing we love about the 30-count Chick-fil-A nuggets
Is sharing it in the car during the holidays.
I do love that. We will pack the car with gifts. And of course, we go and pick up our family's favorite nuggets.
Every nugget is tasty times quadrillion.
And we get all the sides.
Yeah, the ooey gooey mac and cheese is a big hit.
Everyone from 1 to 116 would love Chick-fil-A's chicken nuggets.
Share the nuggets, share the joy. Order the 30-count Chick-fil-A nuggets on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Black Friday savings start now. Get your best deal through the end of the month at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
With Black Friday savings during Happy Honda Days, own or lease your new Honda Accord or Civic today. Your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Visit us at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Amateur players will be pleased to know that the USGA doesn't object to a friendly bet with your weekend foursome. Friendly bets include soft drinks after the round, hot dogs at the turn, or even a $2 Nassau, one of the most widely used bets in golf. It takes its name from the Nassau County Country Club of Glen Cove, Long Island, one of the many clubs frequented by the well-to-do in the late 19th century. As the story goes, matches between these clubs were often reported in the local newspapers, sometimes to the embarrassment of wealthy industrialists coming out the loser. The Nassau captain J.B. Coles Tappan then devised a format where the worst possible result could not be reported as anything more than a 3-0 defeat. In a Nassau, 3 equal wagers are placed on the first 9, the second 9, and 18-hole total. A $2 Nassau is sometimes referred to as a 2-2-2 bet. Some play better with a bet to keep their attention. Others are nervous at the thought of losing. Whatever your choice, golf is a game. Have some fun. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
The Travel Guys, new on KHTK 1140 every Saturday at 11 a.m.
We'll make you a smarter traveler. Tips you can use on the road and at the airport, plus reports from top consumer advocates.
The Travel Guys, 11 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140.
Always more Kings talk to discuss.
And we've got you covered. It's the Drive Guys.
So last night, because the game started a little later, Jay and I were on till 6:30, and then we heard the pregame press conference. And at first, you know, the way Doug Christie started at first, I thought it was Kyle Draper. Because, you know, Jay, because that was like he was channeling his inner Draper, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was Drape's takes for real.
Yeah.
I started to text both of them and be like, did something happen? Did somebody switch up or what happened?
Is he ready to go here? Yeah, joining us now, Kings play-by-play, pre- and post-game host Kyle Draper. Did you give Doug some of that material yesterday, Drapes?
Well, first of all, Whitey, Kayla, and Jay, put some respect on my internet connection today.
Yeah.
You know, I'm at the compound, the Draper compound, where we ain't even on that 5G. You know what I mean? We got something that ain't even been released yet. It's so strong over here. So can I? You want to rip me one day? Can I get some love the next day, please?
It does
I got
sound good.
A strong Wi-Fi connection today.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, we'll reevaluate it.
Kyle Draper has a great point, though, right there.
There you go.
There you go. Let me say this, though. I was in that press conference with Doug yesterday, and I was thinking, and Doug's my guy. You know what I mean? Doug's my guy. But I had to go back in my mental Rolodex, and I'm thinking, hold up. I was on with Whitey, Kayla, and Chris Watkins and Jay. Did I say anything? Was he talking? I had to make sure he wasn't coming at me for a second. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I felt like he was staring right at me, and I'm like, hold up, bro. I didn't say anything. But nah, man. You know what? I had a night to sleep on it and think about it. And what it shows to me is that Doug cares. You know what I mean? This is his life. This is his lifeline, his bloodline, if you will. And, you know, as Kings fans, that's one thing we want, man, is we want somebody that lives and dies with this franchise. is, and that's what we're seeing from Doug. It came out of left field. I wasn't expecting it. I think everybody in that room was shocked when he did that, but it goes to show, like, losing is unacceptable. And, you know, if you're a Kings fan, you know, that's what you want, right? You don't want somebody to be, oh, well, it's just another loss. You're like, no, we got to get this fixed. And I thought that's what we saw last night.
Go ahead. You have a question for Drapes? Yeah.
I was just going to say, in terms of like even putting it out there, no matter what team they were going to play that night, do you feel like it gave at least the team a little fire under their bottoms? I know the first through 3 quarters, at least, we saw this team play a really close game.
I think it did, Kayla, and then not only the first 3 quarters. Like, I thought the first quarter, just the intensity defensively, and I'm gonna give Domantas Sabonis some credit on that. I mean, Jokic, you know, nobody can stop him, but just the ball pressure that he tried to apply, you know, it just seemed like as a team they were locked in a little more. But the problem is, you know, the Kings don't have a lot of room for error. And so as soon as you take your foot off the gas for a minute or two, Denver, OKC, all these teams they're facing, they'll expose you. And I think that's, you know, one of the things Doug talked about is the team isn't there yet. I mean, we all know, you know, the narrative is you got to play hard for 48 minutes. Really, you know, that's virtually impossible. Like, no team plays hard for 48 minutes. But you want to try to limit the times that you take your foot off the gas pedal. And Doug talked about it last night. You can't limp into a game, whether it's the first 5 minutes. You can't feel it out, you know, because we don't have that much margin for error. I do feel like we saw a different team last night than we did the last 2 games. But the schedule ain't helping them out, guys. You know, this is a game tonight, Atlanta. When you looked at it, it's like, all right, this is one we should get. And so I'm going in there tonight thinking, all right, I need the same effort we saw last night. You got up for Jokic and Jamal Murray. Get up for the Trae Young-less Atlanta Hawks tonight. You got to bring that same fire tonight.
Mm-hmm. Your music is ready for you whenever you want to fire away with Drape Steaks.
Oh, you want me to do that now? Okay. Hey, dude, we got to figure out a better way, a better segue for Drape Steaks. Can we at least say that? We got to figure out a better segue for Drape.
We done fell off.
Let's do this. It's up to you. It'll be ready. Then when you're on and you have Drape Steaks, you go to it when you want to go to it.
Now, what happened to let's get ready? You give him like a little Michael Buffer.
Well, because I never know now when he wants to go. I'm not sure when he wants to. Yeah.
You can't limp into Drape's takes. You
gotta sprint, right, Drapes? You gotta sprint
to it.
Yeah, but I know you. I know you.
Tell us, set me up.
I know you. If I say, now it's time for it, you're going to go, hold up, Whitey. I ain't doing that yet. I know you would do that to me.
All right. I'm ready now. Jay, can I please have my music?
Calm down, Lion. Calm down. Take it easy, man. Just take it easy.
All right, Kings fans, another tough loss last night. You know, I was in the building for part of it, and let me just say, I thought what we saw that first quarter from the Sacramento Kings, even the second quarter from the Sacramento Kings, is the kind of intensity that we like. The problem, if you're Sacramento, and this is what Doug talked about, you got to play with the same intensity to open the game, middle of the game, close the game. Here's the thing. Against good teams, as the game goes on, they ratchet it up. They turn it up. And that's what we saw last night from the Denver Nuggets. You know, it was a back and forth game the first couple of quarters. In the third quarter, the Nuggets make a run. And then the fourth quarter. I said this last year, and I got to say it again. When the game is at its tightest, that's when the game is on the line, Kings, that's when you need to lock in. There is no way you should be giving up 37 points in the fourth quarter. To me, that's letting go of the rope. That's like you battling a prize fighter, Kayla and Whitey and Jay, and you battling to a draw through the first 8 rounds, 9 rounds, and then the 10th round, you run out of gas. We got to figure out how to have some reserve in the tank late in the game. 37 points. We scored 26. That's not bad in the fourth quarter. Obviously, you want it to be more, but you got to imagine Denver's going to turn it up a little bit. But you cannot give up 37 points. So I want to see tonight, not only the start, but the finish as well. You know, like when can we beat a team that in the game on a 15-4 run, a 17-6 run? When can we outscore a team 35-22 in the fourth quarter? That's what we got to see. So I thought we did a good job for the most part until that fourth quarter came. I'm going to continue on here because I know time is of the essence. Everybody's coming down on my boy Dennis Schroeder. And right, the shots aren't falling. But what I'm seeing from Dennis Schroeder, 20 minutes last night, he's struggling with a lack of confidence. I heard Kayla talk about it. He's struggling with where's his place in this offense right now. And, you know, I know people have talked about, well, maybe Russell Westbrook should start and Dennis Schroeder should come off the bench. Maybe Doug will go to that. But Dennis Schroeder is too big of a part. When he's at his best, and we saw it, look at down the stretch against Golden State. Look at some of the earlier games this season. He was brought here for some swagger, for a little dog mentality, if you will. Right now, it seems like he's sort of struggling to find his way. And as a team, as a coaching staff, as an organization, to me, Dennis Schroeder is too important to just write off, oh, it didn't work. We've seen flashes from this guy. And if I'm him, and you hear coaches talk about it all the time, you can't let your offense dictate your defense. I'd like to see Dennis lock in defensively, come up with some steals, maybe some deflections, get some easy baskets going the other way and get your confidence. Because against Golden State, when him and Jonathan Kuminga were drawing at each other, that's the Dennis Schroeder that they brought here to see. These last few games, my man is struggling a little bit, you know? I've never envisioned a world where he would play 20 minutes, 0 for 3, 0 points. He has to have, Whitey, a bigger impact than that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. I mean, most fans we're hearing from him today already want to see Russ playing more, but you're saying you got to give Dennis more rope, huh? A little more leeway?
Yeah, I think so. And, you know, I'll go back to, you know, something I said, I think it was yesterday, you know, trying to play with Russ. You know, Russ is a future Hall of Famer. He's going to go 100 miles an hour. He's going to lay it all on the line. The other players got to figure out how to raise their game along with him as well. It's interesting. In that first half, Russ took 9 shots. I think DeMar took 5 and Zach took 5. For the game, Russ took 12. So he only took 3 shots in the second half. He did some other things, assisting. But when the Kings were playing their best this season, and I said it a couple of weeks ago, we had a clear pecking order. All right, Zach is our offensive scorer. DeMar's our second. And then everybody else sort of, you know, figures it out. It seems like the last few games, Zach hasn't really showed up, you know, scoring-wise. DeMar has been there, but 18, it seems like we don't have a pecking order offensively. And so we got to get back to that. I know, you know, Zach is out tonight. That's going to hurt. Domas and Malik questionable. But, man, we just don't have a cohesive unit. You look at every team in the league, we know who their guys are. Who's our guy right now? And I think, you know, whether it's Zach being more aggressive, DeMar being more aggressive, whatever it may be, the coaching staff drawing up plays, we got to get back to a pecking order. Because I'm looking at it, DeMar 15 shots, Domas 12, Zach 12, Malik 12, Russ 12. We need Zach LaVine. We need his scoring. Zach has to score for us to win. I know that's a lot to ask of my guy, but Zach has to score. He has to be 20 and above each night, I think, for us to win.
Yeah, especially when you're playing these really good teams who, at crunch time, like you say, they've been through these situations in playoff games. They know as a team what they're doing. And the Kings, individually, they've been through those things. But as a team, it's more like, all right, what do we do here?
Yeah.
So it's a huge disadvantage.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say, we got to lay off my boy Doug Christie a little bit. You know, this is first full-time head coaching job. The schedule has been insanely tough. The team has been banged up, whether you're missing Keegan Murray, Domas missed 3 games, Zach, you know, and so, one thing I feel like we didn't expect it to be perfect to start. You had Russell Westbrook last week of training camp. And so the Kings just somehow have to weather this storm. It doesn't get easy. I know we knew this was possible, guys, but you can't 10 games in, 11 games in, Doug's not a good coach. This isn't working out.
Mm-hmm.
Let's let it. JJ Redick wasn't a good coach early on last year either. Was he? And then they finished in the 3rd seed. I think you gotta give this some time to breathe. I'm not saying if you're Scott Perry, you should be okay with what's happening right now. No doubt about it. But man, for people to, a sweeping indictment on Doug already, I mean, are we really turning our back on one of our own already Kings fans? So I think we need to lay off of Doug just a little bit, because it's clear the dude is passionate. He wants to win. He's taking everything to heart. And, there's probably nobody that wants to win more than Doug. And so I think we got to give him time, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. To be continued. We have
drinks.
Yeah. We have more tomorrow, right? You have another edition for us?
I don't know, man. No, you know what? I'm flying tomorrow. We're traveling.
Oh, okay.
I'm flying to Minnesota.
All right.
So I'll let you know if I get to Minnesota on time. But we're flying to Minnesota tomorrow.
All right. Is there anybody else in the world that you have approved to give us Drape's takes if Drapes himself can't give them? Do you have anyone who speaks for you on these matters?
Just my son, Nick. That's it. I mean, he's Drapes Jr.
Okay.
He's the only one qualified, because
All
we
right.
talk about this stuff behind the scenes, him and I. So,
All right.
yeah, it's he's the only one. I don't want no Chris Watkins. I don't want Ramsey. No offense to Kayla. You can't do a Drapes take.
No.
It got to be Nick Draper.
All right.
I get
All
that.
right. At least now we
sure.
have a plan B. Thanks, Drapes.
Thanks,
have a good
Drapes.
flight. We'll
All right,
talk
guys.
to you. Yeah. When we come back, we appreciate it. Basketball is simple, but it's not easy, and neither is what the Kings are facing right now. That's next, Sactown Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Hawks.
Tip off at 7, your exclusive home for Kings basketball.
Is Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Around here, Maverick is more than a name. It's who we are. My dad climbed power poles for a living, and he taught me to keep homes running when it gets cold. This November, donate 5 canned foods to our holiday food drive and choose a furnace tune-up or an electrical safety check. We'll collect your cans at the appointment and keep your heat comfy and your lights steady. So the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com. Limited November appointments. Some restrictions may apply.
Guys, tired all the time, gaining weight, low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is making it easier to get answers with a comprehensive wellness panel. It's not just a lab test, it's where better performance begins. Our providers will check your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. A $400 value for just $99, or free if you start treatment. Over 120,000 men have trusted Revive to restore their energy, mood, and confidence. So if you're ready to feel better and live stronger, call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Offer ends November 30th. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price. Sacramento, the wait is over. The all-new Hard Rock Sports Bar is here at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Sacramento at Fire Mountain. Enjoy the ultimate 24/7 sports watching destination with 20 big screens with all the action for the premier game day experience. There's no other place you'd want to be to watch all the games with you and your friends. Now open at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Sacramento at Fire Mountain. For more details, visit casino.hardrock.com/Sacramento.
Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heat and Air. Right now, breaking news, they're upgrading their offering to include plumbing, bringing that same expertise and experience to the plumbing space. They're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy Home Pros. You hear me talk about them as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get second opinions on any HVAC service or replacement, and now you can get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. They'll come out to your house for free, and they'll give you a second opinion and almost certainly save you money. Oh, but wait, there's more. With winter coming up, how about a free furnace special? With full system installation, you're getting a free furnace, not a discounted furnace, a free furnace, and up to $4,000 in rebates while that funding lasts. So get there right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sactown Sports 1140. Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Here's the hardest thing about all this for Kings fans right now. Kayla, nice enough to join us today. It looks like, yes, the Kings have all but officially announced that we're headed into a rebuild. So as fans, right, we look at it and say, okay, well, let's rebuild. Who are we trading? When are we going to trade them? Let's do it now. As fans, right, we just want it done now.
Yeah.
And especially because, as we've discussed so many times on this show, through the years on this station, it's frustrating for Kings fans to realize, oh, we're going to have to be patient some more?
Yeah.
How much more patient can anyone expect us to be? But right now, that's where it all is. One of the reasons I say that is because right now on the in the chateau, the YouTube chat.
Oh, it's going.
And I get it. There's people that, well, how about this trade, that trade? And we all do that as fans. You get the trade machine because we all want to, like, all right, let's go. Well, if they're rebuilding, then I got the trade. And it's just going to take longer, and that's going to be difficult for us as fans. It's going to be difficult to go through some of these games when we realize, wow, they could have done this or that, but I guess it doesn't matter as much as I thought it was going to matter because big picture, this game doesn't make that much difference. So it's just kind of uncomfortable and frustrating.
And I think it's almost fair, though, that fans have the right to kind of be, try to figure out, like, if I were a GM, like, what would I do? Because, like, again, they're dedicated to this team. They pay the money. They give their time to the team. So it is funny, like, specifically asking about the chat, and they were talking about Bradley Beal, who's going to miss the rest of the season with the Clippers. He has like
broke his hip or something?
Fractured hip, which sounds extremely painful, by the way, to have to deal with that. At least he's not like 80, because you know what happens after that.
I know, that's what I was saying. I've fallen and I can't get up.
Yeah. Like the little alert thing. Yeah. But it looks like the immediate thing that you go to as a Kings fan, and knowing that this team is probably not going to look the same after the trade deadline, is, oh, okay, well, that's a guard. So are the LA Clippers going to be interested in maybe doing some business with the Sacramento Kings? Because you know what they have a plethora of. So it's
log jam, I hear.
A log jam, according to Doug Christie. But yeah, I get it. Fans want to immediately be like, okay, well, then what can we do since we already know we're doing it? Yeah,
let's fix it.
It's going to be a while to see how this all plays out. There's going to be moves, though. Definitely.
It's also frustrating from this standpoint. If what Dave and others are suggesting is true, and I believe it is, that we are in the first phase, the Kings believe they're in the first phase of a rebuild. It's just starting. Nothing is happening. When is something going to happen? So again, as a fan, you want things to happen. You need to fix this? I'll fix it. Here's what I would do. Here's what I would do. So that's going to be, as I say, awkward, and it's going to be difficult.
Yeah. Tonight, what I think is interesting, too, because we brought this up on the show yesterday, and Chris Watkins joined the show with us. And I think this was actually maybe Chris's or your point, Kevin, was the point that maybe the rebuild not starts tonight, but maybe we see some of these starters sit. And we've seen the injury report. We at least know that Zach LaVine is not going to be starting tonight because he is dealing with a thigh contusion.
In addition to the back issues he's had.
Right. And then we know that I believe Domas is questionable and Malik Monk is questionable. Now, Malik Monk is not a starter, but, maybe we see Domas out too. We don't know, but maybe we could start to see the lineups a little bit different or the playing minutes start to change a little. And maybe that's the first sign of, okay, they're now starting to tweak things to maybe let the youth movement begin a little. I'm not saying benching all the starters, but maybe letting Neek have more minutes. Some of these guys have more minutes.
To me, once someone is traded, if and when that happens, then I will feel like, all right, now it has officially started.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned Domas. I know everyone realizes this. You watch him play right now, and just about everything he does, he's grabbing his rib. And I was watching that last night, thinking about it. I can only assume that the medical people say whatever it is, it's like he can't make it any worse. It's just a matter of tolerance. Because otherwise they wouldn't play him. It's like, oh, you know what? He gets hit wrong. That thing's going to go right into his lung. So it must simply be a matter of, look, the injury is, there it is. He can't make it worse. It's just a matter of how much pain he can tolerate. Then if you're the coaching staff, Domas, are you good to go? And he's got to be saying, yes, I can play. And he's just going to hurt a little bit. That's the only thing that makes sense because it looks terrible.
It looks awful. And I think we had known that in the game before he was actually holding his rib against Minnesota. And then it was brought up again last night on the NBA on NBC. And then I started to really monitor after almost every shot he took.
By the way, isn't Jamal Crawford also a Seattle guy?
Yes.
He was a Rainier Beach guy.
Rainier Beach. Exactly.
Kevin Porter Jr., Nate Robinson, Terrence Williams.
They just
they got a bunch of folks. Nate Robinson.
Nate Robinson.
DeJounte Murray.
Yeah.
A bunch of them dudes.
Yeah. That's a great basketball school. And by the way, did a great job last night.
He's good.
He's really good and really is good
breaking
at describing.
Down the Kings offense.
That's what I'm saying. I was like so tuned in to the broadcast for that reason. And the guys and gals do a great job here too. But it's always fun to see something different as well. But yeah, I just was starting to pay attention to every time he took a shot. And it would be interesting because I know he came back in the game, but he was in foul trouble most of the game. Mm-hmm. So he wasn't out there as much as he probably would have been. Yeah, he will.
By the way, all the best to Katie Christensen. I know we all heard her today on with Carmichael Dave, and it sounded she was she must have
under
been
the
sleeping.
weather.
Hi Dave, how you doing? It turns out she's been ill. I didn't actually see the game last night. I'm gonna watch it now.
Yeah,
I've been sick for a few days.
Bad job by Dave having her on.
I know. I can't believe she popped on there.
Absolutely, waking her up in the morning.
Come on,
when
man.
She's sick and
rest and recuperating.
Somebody asked, so are you going to do the game tonight? And she's like, J. Ross, you know there's no days off.
Yeah. It's like, she knows. She's like, yeah, of course I'm doing the game.
Uh-huh.
Do I have it? I mean, whatever I got to do to make my voice ready for this game, she can be up for it.
Mm-hmm. So all the best to her.
Yeah.
And Dave, leave her alone. Let her rest.
Dave.
Yeah.
What the heck? And then he told the story about her recruiting and how her coach called her a spoiled brat, but it seemed like actually the main coach, the head coach that she had committed to, actually put her up to that.
Yeah.
I thought that was
great.
great.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Dwayne has been hanging on. Dwayne, you're on with Kayla, Jay, and Whitey. What's up?
Hey, what's up with my folks, though, man? Hey, listen, every team needs a drapes. I'm serious, bro.
Yeah.
Every team needs drapes. But I got to tell you, man, he's tripping. This team is awful right now. This team is out. You got to call it what it is. I'm down with the tank, man. I want Cam Boozer. But I will say this, though. I don't think the powers that be should be out here yelling rebuild, bro. You know, because the fans are already, like, at the line of just being fed up to the point of no return. So I don't think it's a rebuild. They still have the team, or the players, I should say, to make a blockbuster trade to try to balance the roster and give Coach Christie a real chance. So let me know what y'all think about that, man. Love y'all.
Thank you, Dwayne. Appreciate the kind words, but I'm confused because you're all in for the tank. you want to tank, but you want to go trade for Ja or somebody to win as many games as those two things are opposites, are they not? I'm a little confused.
I don't think.
How
I think
can you
they're
both.
I think they're opposites, not both. Or excuse me.
I agree.
Yeah.
One thing doesn't look like the other.
Yeah, and he's for both of them.
But can't you do both, though? I think what he's saying is you can do both. Because I think if you go get Ja, you're also saying this isn't a play for right now. This is as you said, and you've talked about this, threading the needle. I think that is a play for the future, but also Ja Morant is a superstar. He's a star at this point.
Right.
And so if you're telling me you don't want to star just because you want to build for 4 years down the road, well, that's to me, that's two different things.
If you're going to do it, guys, I think you do it and you have to find the right guy, though. And
True.
And I don't know if Ja's that guy, but remember Drapes was just saying, like, who's our guy? Like, who? I mean, we need it to be Zach
It might
LaVine.
be Cam Boozer.
But yeah, but,
Sure, I'm serious.
He doesn't know it yet, though.
Yeah, he doesn't know it yet, but
Yeah.
this is your future. You're
Uh-huh.
going to be the face of the Sacramento Kings. But in all seriousness, if you do something like that, you got to make sure that is your guy and that is a fit for what you're looking to do moving forward.
Set the foundation.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But I think you can do both. One thing I find interesting, and I'll peel back the curtain a little bit. Me and Drapes were having this conversation yesterday or 2 days ago, and he made a great point. The fans are yelling, tank. Some of the media is yelling, tank. And that's all fine and dandy. But it feels like we're asking, and maybe it's through action, and maybe that's what we're looking for, and that's what we're waiting on as part of as the fan club watching the team. But me personally, I don't want no one in the front office to say we're tanking, because to me, that means it brings down your talent. It's going to bring down the value of your talent.
I just want to ask you.
Yeah.
So are you saying you don't want to tank, or you just don't want to declare that you're tanking?
I don't need them meaning Scott Perry or anyone in the front office to declare that we're tanking.
But you still think that is probably the best course?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not. I'm first and foremost, I've always said, and Whitey, you can attest to this, it's kind of what Kayla has said. Tanking, to me, means nothing if you don't go get the guy.
Yeah.
Now, kind of what we talked about real quick yesterday, Whitey, is how we get to it, meaning the process to getting to that guy, to me is what everyone right now in the kingdom is discussing. How do we go get that guy? What I'm saying is this. By hail or high water, if the guy is in the league right now, you trade everything to get that guy and you start to build.
I don't think he is, though.
And that's the point. But that doesn't also mean that I want to tank. I'm saying whoever you believe is the person that you want to build around, however you need to get him, go get him, and I'm willing to accept the process. That's me. That's me talking, not fans. You asked me the question. Sure. If that person is Paolo Banchero, then trade 63 first-round picks if you got to. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do know this, and I argue anybody. The last champion to win the last NBA team to win a championship that didn't have that guy was probably the Pistons. But when you take a step back, they also got 2 Hall of Famers already in the building. What I'm saying is you can't win in the league without a top 10 guy. It's just unheard of.
Yes, but go ahead.
No, you go. Go first and I'll add on.
I was just going to say the whole purpose of tanking, whatever you want to call it, rebuild, would be getting one of those guys through the draft.
Could be. That's one way.
Yeah,
that's one way.
See, that's the thing, Whitey, is, excuse me, Caleb.
I know, I get what you're saying, though.
Way.
Yes.
That's what everybody is saying. But then you have other people saying, well, you know what? That doesn't necessarily mean, or we can't trust this front office. We can't trust the ownership group. It's a high percentage play, no doubt about it. No doubt about that. I'm not arguing that. But I'm also saying if there's a person that you believe in the league works for you, go do it.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean you got a tank to go get that person. Who's to say this? Who's to say you can't overpay and do the 49ers and trade 3 first-round picks and go get Cam? That's not tanking. You gave up 3 first-round draft picks. However you get to that person, get to him. That's all I'm saying.
I think the biggest stars are even more valuable on basketball teams because you have fewer players.
Agreed.
Oh,
My point is that a really true superstar of that caliber, they're very rarely available. Now you can roll the dice if somebody like Ja becomes available, which he's not, which is a really important point. Right now, he's not available. Or Zion. There's a ton of risk involved with them because they've already been places where they were supposed to be the guy, and whether it's their fault or not, they didn't work out.
Yeah, and I think it is harder to find that guy and build around them because a lot of teams aren't going to let it go of somebody like that. But you can also, and this is the unique case, because we're talking about this Oklahoma City team right now that has just blossomed into what they were because they were essentially tanking, but in the process struck freaking gold with SGA and was like, well, damn, now we have a piece to build around.
Holmgren and Jalen Williams.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be interesting. I see them more so probably going down the route that they're going to find that person in the draft, but we don't know this yet. That's the mystery about where they're going, because they're not telling us yet exactly where they're going. And there's a lot of season to be had still, that things can happen. And Doug Christie, at least we know this, guys, I think he knows exactly what he wants and exactly what he wants to build around. And that's the one thing that gives me comfort with this organization moving forward is, yes, they are aligned, but I think they know exactly what they're looking for to have this team rebuilt, retooled, whatever you want to say.
Let me say this in terms of Coach Christie, since you mentioned Coach Christie. I know Drapes just said, hey, people should lay off Coach Christie. I'm not privy to all the inner workings of the front office and the coaches, but it reminds me of years ago when the Dodgers were playing the World Series against the Red Sox, and a lot of people were very critical of Dave Roberts managing, and they would get out platooned by the Red Sox with the lefty-righty matchups. And I remember talking to Greg Vaughn about it. Greg Vaughn is from this area, and we were doing an interview with him, and he knows Dave Roberts, and he said, yeah, I asked Doc, what's up? And he said, the front office does all this. Now, I don't know if that's what's going on here, but it wouldn't surprise me if the front office does have a lot of influence on the coaching decisions. And that doesn't mean, oh, well, he's not a good coach then. No, that's the way it is now in pro sports often. And perhaps that was one of the frustrations that Doug was expressing yesterday. So it's just something to keep in mind. And I really think of that when I hear Coach Christie answering questions about Keon. And it seems like, wait, what's he not saying? My guess is he's not saying that as an organization, we don't want to play him right now.
Yep.
I think the world of him. So just keep that in mind. And it's not a black mark on him as a coach. It happens in pro sports now.
It is. I mean, the owners are the ones with the money.
Yeah.
They've got all the money. They've got essentially all the power when it comes to
especially
anything.
if it's true that the organization we're rebuilding now.
Yeah.
So they're not going to just, you do what you want, coach, we're rebuilding. No, they're going to be actively involved in all of the decisions when it comes even to playing time.
Yeah, and that's a good thing to note. And, you hear as a coach, you've got to answer a lot of the same questions right now because it's really a lot of the same problems. And, we did see Keon Ellis, play in the first quarter yesterday. Now, he didn't play a lot minute-wise, but before that, the 2 games prior to that, Doug Christie was asked both nights after Keon did not play much until the 4th, what's going on? And it was the same verbiage. It was the same.
Yeah.
And so usually when that happens, it's like he can only say so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's difficult. And that's maybe some of the frustration. As he said, I still agree with what J. Ross said this morning. Overall, the message from Doug Christie yesterday was, we are together, and it doesn't look like it, and it's easy for people. This has been going on nationally for a long time, and let's face it, some of it is deserved. But nationally, people look at this organization, as we've discussed, Jay, and they say, they're incompetent. They don't know what they're doing.
Right.
And in my opinion, Doug, part of what he said yesterday was responding to, it may not look like it. We're not incompetent. We know what we're doing. You may not agree with what we're doing, but we know what we're doing, and we're coming, and you'll find out.
Yeah, 100%. That's kind of a lot of what I took from it as well. And I find it interesting, but also understanding where you have some Kings fans who are like, here we go. Here we go with this message where that very thing is something that we've all been asking for. At least I have been, is saying somebody from the organization needs to step out of place and say, hey, we understandable. The past, the Kings, and everything else y'all want to talk about. Yeah, I can't change history, but I'm gonna change the future. And we rock solid. We're stepping together. And at least, if nothing else, and this is something I've consistently asked the organization, and I go back to the DeMar DeRozan, conversation, put him on the bench. I say you don't put him on the bench, but if you do, you should do it as an organization. That's the way to do it. I asked Jerry Reynolds because I wanted to see if I was barking up the right tree, and he said the same thing. You do it as an organization. You don't leave the coach out hanging. You don't leave the general manager out there hanging. You don't leave the owner out there hanging. They all come, we all come to the press conference together.
And that's the hard thing. The minute that one person steps out of line in terms of that, same vision or whatever, that's when things start to fall apart.
That's when the culture starts to evaporate,
yeah,
shrivel up.
It's like the one squeaky wheel it falls off, and then it's like, okay, then everything does.
Yeah, and Doug made it clear yesterday, again, by citing the core principles of Scott Perry's organization, that we're all doing this together. We're all on the same page.
In a matter of pretty quick, we're all going to know the 6 core principles. It's becoming something like a...
I've got it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm like back in school. Like,
a quiz.
recite this. Yeah.
Kayla, next Monday, if you're here, we're quizzing in the play.
Remember,
like it's like
quiz.
that, isn't it? Doesn't it sound that way?
Yeah, it
does. Is it a mnemonic device? Wrapped Todd is how I remember it.
Oh,
Wrapped Todd. So who told us that?
I made it up.
Did you make it up?
You made up Wrapped Todd?
Yeah, right,
yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's
Responsible.
the way to listen.
Accountable. Professional. Tough. Team-oriented is a TO, and disciplined. Yeah.
Okay,
that's
A+.
Yeah.
I got till next Monday, guys.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
You got till six Mondays from now.
Perfect.
Don't even worry about it. We'll expand it.
Yeah. Thing about basketball is and this is probably true of most, if not all, sports, it's simple, but it's not easy.
Yeah.
When you're teaching basketball, learning it, you dribble the ball, and then you see where the defender is. It's simple, but it's not easy. And I think that applies also to a rebuild. It's simple, but it's not easy. You want to get younger assets, move on from assets that are not going to help you, that are in alignment with your timeline. But of course, the trick is when you bring in the young assets, when you draft people, you better be right.
There's always risk involved. I'll tell you that much, right?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. And I think, Jay, I ask you because you've been here so long, for those who say, it's the Kings, they won't get it right. Maybe with Scott Perry, I think there's a chance they do. Isn't that fair? We
hope.
Yeah.
All you can do is hope, right? I mean, nothing is for fact. So,
especially in sport.
Yeah,
we do have the same ownership, but we have a different general manager, and it looks like right now, anyway, this general manager is getting things done his way, whether you agree with that or not. I really believe that.
I'm always the one to tell ownership, just be patient sometimes.
Back off.
Let your GM and your head coach work together and get something done without pushing the button again.
Yeah.
Give them some time.
That is the one thing I think fans around here have made clear they want. During the summer, we had a lot of questions. Where's this going? What's going on? They're bringing in this guy, that guy. And so Jay and I would ask people, what's the one thing you want? I think Jay actually asked that question. And what came back was, we want the basketball people to be able to operate independently of ownership.
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe we're getting that. We don't know for sure yet, but it looks like it. Now, how long does it take to rebuild an NBA playoff contender? We'll take a look at some numbers when we come back to Sactown Sports.
The Kings play here, baby. Tonight, Kings and Hawks. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner.
Starts at 5:30 with tip-off at 7. Listen to your Sacramento Kings
On the official home of Kings basketball, Sactown Sports 1140.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9861. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9861. That's 800-575-9861. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
Footballs are flying. The days are getting shorter. Fall is officially here. Will your heater be able to get you through the winter? The heater at Whiteywood shut down last winter. So who did we call? Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. We wanted somebody we could trust to do the job right and deliver great value, and Lee's came through. Check them out at leesair.com. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating has built a reputation as the leading HVAC company in Sacramento. We've got a new HVAC system that works great, saves us money month to month. Find out how they can help you at leesair.com. License number 635355.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
I wanted to make sure I didn't become whiny Gleason today and talk about and complain about how late the game was last night. So I'm not going to complain about that, but I'm interested, Jay, because Jay, I think, is kind of a night owl. How did you do with the later start last night?
Oh, spectacular.
That's what I thought.
Oh, man.
Yeah, because, everyone, and I've complained too. Yeah. Everyone's complaining, but there's the other side.
Jay's like, I loved it. 8 o'clock start every time.
Yeah, lock me in. Long as we don't have to go to 6:30. But yeah, lock me in beside that.
That's so funny.
Make Marsh and them go an extra 30 minutes or so, Jose.
Yeah, exactly, right?
But yeah, no, I love the 8 o'clock start when it comes to as far as game-wise. It's real prime time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
No one really else is paying attention to that. To anything else but that, rather.
You know what I found interesting last night, guys, is because, again, when you're in different sides of the country, you don't know exactly the whole organization process of like what you see on national NBC and is that regional. And so last night I was watching it on NBC here in Sacramento. Clearly the game was on the local NBC. And then I was tweeting out that it was on local NBC. Oh, I'm watching on NBC. And then people over that, follow me in Nashville or Ohio, they're like, well, we're not watching it on, what do you mean it's on NBC? We got local news. And I know people in Dallas had local news.
Oh, okay.
And so I guess they had to watch it on Peacock.
I didn't realize that.
So that confused me last night.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because we talked about this yesterday, now that I think about it. Central, Mountain, and Eastern time zone, the second game is on Peacock. But Pacific, the second game is on NBC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's how it all broke down.
Right.
It took me a minute to figure it all out.
I don't know why that is, but yeah. I mean, I'm sure it has something to do with just audience sizes. But
probably, yeah.
Here it's reversed. We get the first game's Peacock, and the second game is NBC. But everywhere else,
it's
NBC and then the Peacock game.
I by the way, I loved the opening. It was like nostalgic to see it on NBC locally, and then to see the opening and the little storytelling that goes along with before the game. I thought that was really cool. It kind of brought me back.
Yeah, with more of Albert.
With more of Albert.
Yeah. Yes.
Albert.
It's just so, it can be, if you allow it to be, discouraging when you talk about the Kings and, they won a championship. When? 1951. What? When they were in Rochester. Yeah. But we got one. Do we really?
Right. I mean, sorry, but like for Sacramento, I'm sure it's like, well, no, technically it's our team, but not really.
Yeah. That was, 3
That's
locations
wild.
ago? Because then Kansas, no, that was, 4.
4?
Because they went to Cincinnati, then Kansas City, and then here.
It's crazy how many places that Sacramento were before. I did not know about that until I got here and learned the history. But I'm like, dang, like they've really been holding on. That's a good sign, guys.
It is.
You're not going to ever let go.
That's one of the coolest things I remember about Kareem, his last year in the NBA. They had a retirement tour for him, and he would get up and say something at all the cities. And when he came here, he talked about that because he had been in the league a long time. I think when he came into the league, they were in Cincinnati. And he said, this franchise has had a lot of different homes, and it looks like now maybe it has found a permanent home, which hey, thanks.
That's awesome.
And then he also, I think the Kings, the gift for him, he got motorcycles and all this stuff. And they gave him at Sac State, I believe, a scholarship in his name, which I think he really appreciated.
That's cool because that's long lasting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Forever.
That was pretty classy. Speaking of long lasting, the Kings heading into a rebuild. That's what we've been told. How long do these things typically last? What is fair as far as expectations of when they come out of this? Real quick, looking at some of the teams that the Kings are said to be monitoring or actually modeling their rebuild after. Oklahoma City Thunder. They made the playoffs 5 straight years, 2016 to 2020. So their win total since 2021. This is when they went into the tank mode, right? They started trading off parts. They won 22 games. They won 24 the next year. Then they won 40.
Ooh.
Lost in the play-in. The next year they won 57.
Holy smokes.
Then they won a championship. That's fast.
That is really fast.
They're currently 11-1. Yeah, so 22, 24. And then I remember that team, 40, they got to the play-in wow, they're ahead of schedule. 57, 68, and a championship. That's how you do it.
That is how you do it, but that's the luck part too, where it's like, how much is that play into a rebuild process and getting back there quickly? I'm sorry, it does.
Yeah.
And for them, again, with SGA, and then they just hit with some of their draft picks.
Yeah, they didn't get the number 1 overall, but
Right.
they got Holmgren at 2, and they already had Shea as part of the trades for Paul George, and then they had Jalen Williams, who was a terrific draft pick. Detroit Pistons in 2018-19, they were 41-41. They lost in the first round. And at that point, and they'd been around 41 wins for a few years, that's when they decided, all right, here we go. Rebuild, tank, whatever you want to call it. So 2020 through 25, their win total's 20. 20. 23. I think it's about that time they hired Monty Williams and won 17, 14.
14 games in the NBA. Wow.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
And last year they won 44, and they're currently 9-2. But that was 5 years wandering around in the wilderness of 14 to 23 wins in a season.
Go ahead, Jay.
I was going to say, and it took them till they got Cade to really say,
yes,
that's the guy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, 4 years into that?
And they got him with the number 1 pick. But even with that took a while. And finally it is.
How many coaches did they go through that time?
I'd have to double check.
Okay, because that's also interesting. Like, that's obviously the longer track to get there, which you don't probably want to do. But, I mean, at least they're showing signs of life.
Yeah. Portland Trailblazers also mentioned as a team the Kings would like to model this after. They made the playoffs. It was in Carmichael Davis.
Oh, well, that right there tells you what's wrong.
Portland made the playoffs 8 straight years, 2014 through 2021. And they're pretty good, but they're not great. They got to the Western Conference Finals once, and then they decided, all right, that's it. We trade Dame, we start over. 2022 to the present, their win totals: 27, 33, 21, and then last year 36. So they never really bottomed out, but they haven't made much progress, and currently I believe they're 5-5. So are they on track? I don't know.
Well, that's a hard one too, because now with the whole situation with Chauncey and everything.
Yeah, that's a great
also
point.
Tough to know.
So that hasn't really paid off for them yet. They do appear to be in a better place than they were when they won 27, but they still got a lot of work to do.
What year did you say that started, White?
2022. Because 2021,
okay.
The 2021 season was the last year they made the playoffs.
Okay. Was that the Western Conference? Or no, 2020? What was the year they lost to the Warriors in the Western Conference?
I'd have to look it up.
Yeah,
It was one of those
2020,
years, and I
21?
don't want to say and be incorrect, but it's right around there. We can double check on that. They haven't had the number 1 pick either. They've had some good high picks, but they haven't really paid off yet. San Antonio Spurs, the last team that the Kings supposedly are modeling this after, 22 straight years in the playoffs.
Jeez.
22 straight years. Their win total since 2020, 32, 33, 34, 22, 22, 34, currently 8-2. So even though they hit the jackpot of jackpots and landed Wemby, they still haven't quite gotten there.
No.
To answer your question, Kayla, the Pistons went through 3 coaches since 2019.
Oh, wow.
So Dwayne Casey, 2018 to 23, Monty Williams, that 1 year, of course, and then now J.B. Bickerstaff as of last year.
Okay, and, that's a reason, too. Maybe it takes a little longer if you're derailing, the coaching staffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then for them, it's like it finally hit in 44. Doesn't look great, but coming off of 14 wins, 44 was like, oh my goodness, what happened there?
Right?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the best model? I mean, that's that, right?
Clearly
it's like,
OKC, let's do that. But that's hard to do.
Yeah.
Because they got so much for their top assets. They got so much in terms of draft capital for Russ and for Paul George.
Right.
Which is, let's face it, the Kings, they wouldn't get that kind of haul.
Can I ask a question to you guys, being, a newer member in this market and the drafting history of this organization? Because I've heard, it has not been good. Okay? Yeah, I'm bringing it up.
Uh-huh.
So my question is, you got Scott Perry, who's highly regarded and highly respected, in the NBA community, as well as Doug. But we all know GMs have a great part to do with drafting. How much are people confident that if they're going to go out and get this person or people that they're going to build around, that they can get it right after years of you guys as fans and media being like, what's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
What are we drafting?
Yep. We will tackle that when we come right back to Sactown Sports.
Catch all the action at Sky River Casino. Enjoy over 80 table games, more than 2,100 slot machines, and a thrilling high-limit room. Plus, with 18 elevated restaurants, bars, and lounge destinations, and Sky River rewards that add up and up. There's something for everyone. Just minutes from Sacramento, right off Highway 99 in Elk Grove. Join in the fun and experience new heights. Sky's the limit at Sky River Casino. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home with a 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 and monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Sacramento, the wait is over. The all-new Hard Rock Sports Bar is here at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Sacramento at Fire Mountain. Enjoy the ultimate 24/7 sports watching destination with 20 big screens with all the action for the premier game day experience. There's no other place you'd want to be to watch all the games with you and your friends. Now open at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Sacramento at Fire Mountain. For more details, visit casino.hardrock.com/Sacramento.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9861. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-9861. That's 800-575-9861.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is offering a comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value for just $99. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends November 30th. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com today. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
Live and local, it's The Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
According to reports, the Kings are trying to model their rebuild after the rebuild that we've seen in OKC, Detroit, Portland, and San Antonio. That makes sense on the surface, but when you look at it, none of those things are really the same. So, it's like you would want to model it after the OKC rebuild, but you don't want to end up being, I don't know, Portland, who hasn't quite punched through yet. And Jay, to answer your question, Portland made it to the Western Conference Finals in 2019.
2019.
They lost to the Warriors, and that was Durant's last year there when the Warriors then lost to Toronto. And then 2 years after that, Portland got back in the postseason and was knocked out in the first round, which meant they were out of the first round 4 out of 5 years before they decided, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Not enough.
No.
Yeah.
It's almost like more painful. I mean, I get it. You guys want to be in the playoffs, but for them, it was like year after year, it's like, how are we improving then? Like, we've got good teams enough to get to the playoffs, and then you're getting bounced 4 out of the 5?
4 out of 5,
Yeah, and that's like to the point sometimes, too, where you just push the button. Reset.
The San Antonio one is sobering to me as well, and I know that, every team in the league would love to have Wemby, but, they got him, and they won, he got hurt. They won, was it 22 and 34 since they got him, and then this year it looks like it's taking... but it's taken them a while.
Yeah, which is surprising.
It all came together.
Because when you have a guy like that, and I know there's the development even with his body and everything that they've had to see with him, but that's even a good case to say, even if you struck gold with what he is expected to be in the future, it may not happen that year or the next year.
Right, because maybe in today's NBA, you get the one guy, but okay, you still are going to need other guys too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not going to fix every single hole.
So you were wondering about how confident Kings fans are that this regime
I struck a chord, I know.
Fair
I
question.
know, but I wanted to ask.
Pandora's box.
It's now open.
You asked the question, how confident are fans, right, that the Kings could rebuild?
With this new GM and Scott Perry and Doug Christie.
A lot of people responded.
Yes, they did.
To your question. Not a lot of optimism there.
No, there wasn't. There wasn't. And I guess, for me, you guys maybe can just, and I know you guys have been through all of this, but why can't maybe a fresh GM and head coach who seem to have respect around the league and know the NBA and, the type of player that they're looking for specifically, since they are, quote unquote, aligned?
They can, especially if the GM and the coach are allowed to do what they think is best. No guarantee, maybe they won't, but yeah, that's your best shot.
If it was just, okay, so then let me say this, because I know ownership always comes into play, y'all. I know that. If it is, let's just say 100%, it was Scott Perry and Doug Christie, you do it. I'm not going to have one word in any of this, which I know I'm,
and that's also really, it's not realistic for any team.
Exactly.
All teams, the
But
owners.
if it mostly goes to them, do you
Yeah.
feel with those two confident that they could fix this here in the next couple of years with the drafting part of it?
Yes, because what do we know? We don't know much because Scott Perry hasn't been here long, but he drafted Nee Clifford.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really good pick.
And they know what they want to do moving forward, right?
Yes.
In terms of the philosophy.
Yeah, it's not like, I don't know, let's get this guy. Like, we are trying to build this type of team. So, I mean, who knows? But yeah, I like their chances. What do you say, Jay?
Yeah, I think it comes down to trusting more or less. Because as much as the head coach definitely has some say, unless you're Popovich, maybe Steve Kerr, guys like that, a handful of guys. Do other NBA coaches get the pat on the back for drafting a Luka? Like, you normally give the pat on the back to the organization and the general manager, right?
Right.
So I think for me, it just kind of comes down, do you trust Scott Perry and company?
Sure.
I would say from his acumen in the NBA and throughout the league, his track record shows me that he has a decent eye for talent. And I like the style and the type of person, the caliber, the dog, the toughness, the attitude. I like those type of people that Scott Perry drafts. So I would lean yes. But as Whitey talked about, there's always other influences throughout those choices.
Yeah, I believe with the Knicks, he drafted Mitchell Robinson, Emmanuel Quickley, and Miles McBride. All good quality value picks
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, okay, well, if he's kind of given the reins to do so, and there's not a ton of input from other things and source, you know where I'm going with this.
Yes.
Then maybe we could see this thing start to play out.
Yeah. The more I think about it, the Wembanyama note is really important because as fans, I know of myself, I'll think if they get a really high pick, like, okay, here you go, you got so-and-so. But in today's NBA, well, that's a start, even if it's the guy at the top. But you're going to have to continue to draft better before and after you hit the jackpot.
Exactly, especially when you're looking for so many players. I mean, there's a couple, and we'll see what Keegan Murray looks like when he gets back. But with Doug's philosophy, like he was even asked a question yesterday after the game about offense, and he quickly shut that down. He did not want to talk about offense at all. It was like, we need to fix defense. We need to be best on defense before anything else. So, that's going to take some time to build that. That's not easy, to find players exactly. Like, clearly, you want offense. You have to have offense. But he's looking for a specific player.
Yeah.
They are looking for specific players.
Sure. You just hope the basketball gods, small g, as Jim Harbaugh says, aren't angry with the Kings because the basketball god said, here you go. We're going to let Tyrese Halliburton fall to you. All these teams are going to pass, and you get him. And they got him, and then they let him go. They traded him.
I know. I feel like we needed to sage the arena or something.
Yeah.
Give it some good vibes.
Kyrie when you need him.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a difficult. In one form, you look at it and you look around and you're talking about Portland. Like, Portland really ain't done nothing since Dame and CJ left. So, to me, and that's why I
they're
said.
still looking. You're right.
Yeah, who's trying to pattern a rebuild after a losing organization like Portland? Like, Portland ain't won nothing either.
I'm with you. That's not a team I would cite necessarily.
Yeah. The Spurs have been the model organization throughout the league for a long time. OKC definitely has kind of been one of those, we want as many lottery balls in the spindle and we'll pull from that. And so, Kayla, when you're talking about, who was the other team? Detroit.
Yeah.
Detroit has been, they've had periods.
Yeah.
Good, bad,
it
good,
took
great.
them a long time to get to this point.
So there are different ways and different avenues, and I think that's what we have to understand. The other thing that is interesting when you cite the Spurs and you cite OKC, and you kind of touched it a little bit, Whitey, and even kind of Portland too, is they had stars already that was kind of towards the end of their run. And so they were able to get compensation for those guys where we really haven't had that. And I get it because I already know what's getting ready to come. Well, we had De'Aaron Fox and you didn't get what you were supposed to. And believe me, I was the first person that said 100% right.
Yep.
Yes.
You should. I've also said I wouldn't even trade a De'Aaron. I remember, Whitey, I said I would have sat across the table and told him, man, we're not trading you until I get somebody or get a package that I like.
Yeah.
So I totally understand that. I don't know what the Kings will be willing to suffice with when it comes to Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and whoever else you want to add in, Kings fans, you can choose for me who you believe needs to go. Will we be able to get the Paul George compensation package?
Nope.
Will we be able to get the Kawhi Leonard? Like those type of compensation packages. Are we going to be able to get those? I'm not sure.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll just say this about the Fox trade, and I'm not defending the Fox trade because at this point you're looking at what do we have? What are our assets? What are our liabilities? And you got a couple ones out of that, and maybe you can argue you should have gotten more. But just going forward, and the one unprotected Minnesota pick in 2031 or whatever, that could come in really handy.
Sure.
So I'm not saying they did a fine job. I'm just saying now you look at where you are and what you're trying to do. Those picks could come in handy.
They should. Hopefully they do.
Yep.
Yeah.
They got to get some of them right. They're not all going to be right. That's hard to do, but you got to get some of those right out of the gate.
Yeah, and then a team like OKC, they get Josh Giddey, and it's like, wow, he could be the future. In a few years, they realize, nah, we're better off trading him.
Right.
But that's maximizing the value of your picks. My point is, you can't fall in love with a guy necessarily, which is another thing we've done here.
Wow.
The Kings draft a guy, and then for 3 years, he's supposed to lead us to the promised land.
Yep.
Right, Jay? And
Nah, he's not that caliber of a guy.
Right.
You have to realize and understand it. That's part of it.
Keep it moving, keep it churning. But the process is apparently only beginning. We're going to talk some football with Stevie Johnson. Is that okay with you if we talk to Stevie Johnson?
Yes, let's go bowling.
Bowling with Stevie next. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Just announced, Stockton Honda has been named #1 of California's best car dealers in 2025 by USA Today and Statista. This prestigious award is based on thousands of customer reviews and recommendations, ranking dealerships for service, value, and satisfaction. Out of hundreds evaluated, Stockton Honda is proud to be #1, recognized for all-around excellence and commitment to our customers. Visit Stockton Honda, where reputation meets the road.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729. Or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Everyone has a past, but what happens if you've made mistakes and made good on that past, but it keeps following you? Are you looking for an attorney to erase past records and restore your rights? Maybe even restore your gun rights? Do you need a reputable criminal defense attorney who knows even good people make bad mistakes? Well, the attorneys at Gonzalez Law Office are here to help. Find Gonzalez Law Office online at saclegaldefense.com or call them at 916-304-9187. We don't settle for less, and neither should you.
Around here, Maverick is more than a name. It's who we are. My dad climbed power poles for a living, and he taught me to keep homes running when it gets cold. This November, donate 5 canned foods to our holiday food drive and choose a furnace tune-up or an electrical safety check. We'll collect your cans at the appointment and keep your heat comfy and your lights steady. So the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com. Limited November appointments. Some restrictions may apply.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial pound 250, say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Hey, everybody. We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. What's going on for the Black Friday sales event, Chad?
Save big on the best-looking Jeep Grand Cherokee on the market when you save up to $10,000 off MSRP on the brand-new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee L Altitude X. This Grand Cherokee has all the bells and whistles you could ever want and more. People won't be keeping up with the Joneses. They'll be keeping up with you.
It's true. This has got to be the best-looking Jeep I've seen.
I didn't think Jeeps could look any better, but they did it. But Hoblet is more than just Jeep. Whatever you're looking for, you can find it at the Hoblet Certified Pre-Owned Supercenter. We have over 220 vehicles waiting for you at HobletDodge.com.
Search, select, and save at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
10,000 toll net savings on select new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokees after 5,000 factory rebates and 5,000 dealer discounts. Rebates include 2,000 SFS bonus cash, must finance through Stellantis. 500 first responder bonus cash for eligible first responders. 3 of this net savings. Sample VIN 746-799. See dealer for details.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time thrown down by Malik Monk.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports, 1140. Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Kings and the Hawks tonight. The great Jerry Reynolds going to join us 5 o'clock. We got Kayla here, Jade, Whitey, of course. But right now it's time to turn our attention back to the National Football League. Is this your favorite segment when you're here with us?
I mean, you know that I'm an NFL.
I know,
gal
I
at heart,
do. Yeah.
But
why don't you bring them on?
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Joining us now, down in San Diego, our good friend Stevie Johnson.
How are you,
What's up,
Stevie?
teammates? What's going on, families?
Are you in the bowling alley? I don't know if I see you yet, but whenever you come up,
Yeah, no, I'm in the alley, but I can't really put a bad product out there. I haven't been warming up the lane. You know what I'm saying? So I got to get a little more work in.
Fair.
Stevie, I hate to start here, but we have to. What happened to your Buffalo Bills?
Oh man.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, they got beat by those Dolphins. I would say the Dolphins took the game, and it showed with the forced fumbles. That's the thing. Like, the Bills didn't just get beat by, a team competing with them. They was actually forcing plays, and Jack Jones made 2 big plays that stopped the Bills' momentum on both drives and ultimately, secured the dub for, the Dolphins.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Jay, was that rude to start that way?
Well,
Jay's like, come on,
you
man.
see,
not rude. That's fair.
I was like, how I go. Normally, you got to throw that softball up for the first one. You're like, let me throw the softball up. You're like, nah, straight to the jugular.
Yep. That's how it is on Drive Guys. We get straight to it.
Stevie, when it comes, getting straight to it, when it comes to the Niners, I'm just going to throw it out there. Brock Purdy playing this weekend, and what's the expectations when you're going up against this team coming up?
You know what? I'm interested. Why is Brock Purdy playing, though? Mac Jones just had 33 for 39, 319 yards, 3 touchdowns. Yeah, he had 1 interception, but out of almost 40 attempts and only 6 incompletions, it's tough when you're playing from behind. Props to Brock Purdy for fighting back. Maybe he'll change up the offense to manage it, I guess, a little bit more. But, I don't think the quarterback was the issue. It was just like we was talking about last week, and we was talking a little bit before we got on. The 49ers came out playing a soft defense for the first 5 minutes, and Matt Stafford ignited and torched them. And that got the defensive line tired, a depleted defensive line tired. And then you gash them once you try to switch up, and go press. Now those guys are tired. You're playing behind. And, it was too much for the Niners to get back from.
They didn't follow the Stevie Johnson game plan.
They got to listen to it.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
I know. How do they not listen?
Yeah.
Stevie, if you have Mac Jones and he's healthy, and you have Brock Purdy and he's healthy, we don't know if he is, but if they're both healthy, what can Brock do? What does he bring to the party that maybe Mac Jones doesn't?
Well, I mean, we've seen what he's done. He's been in big games. He knows how to manage the offense. He was the original manager of the offense, so he's going to bring a natural comfortability for the team. What Mac has shown was a spark and something that if our number one go down, we're still comfortable with our backup. So that's why I just don't see why Mac is being out. But at the same time, I don't feel like the Niners are losing anything because both quarterbacks are capable.
So, Stevie, Ricky Pearsall returns to practice, which is, first of all, finally a sign of life here because we just didn't know what was going on with him. If he does play or if he plays next week even, what is he going to bring to this offense that they've been missing?
Yeah, another spark, another playmaker, another weapon that a quarterback is comfortable with. Again, it's hard to really add even more to it when your quarterback just went 33 for 39. It wasn't the offensive fault. So when you add another talented player, another guy who's our number one, I mean, you're just going to get, I would say, more positive yards and more sustained drives. And hopefully you can, get some stops, though, so that your offense can shine.
Mm-hmm.
Stevie, if that happens, as someone has been in the locker room, and I don't want to put you on the spot. Let's just speak to your
Put him on the
experiences.
spot, Jay.
Yeah, because you've already done it, Whitey. You already
He's ready for the Cardinals.
right. As a wide receiver, someone who's obviously catching the ball from the quarterback, are you looking around? Are you looking at your coaches? Are you going into your position coaches, meeting and saying, I know Brock is a starter, but my boy is hot right now. How do you guys respond to that as a wide receiver?
Man, you know what? I know the thoughts are there. I've never seen or witnessed any conversations from that or guys going to the coaches because we ultimately got love for our brothers, and we think all of them are capable regardless of what the last one has done. At the end of the day, Brock is the starter, so that's the guy who was paid, and everything is overruled when he says he's ready. So, nobody's really complaining at the end of the day. It's more an internal thing, more personal thing. But I don't have any stories on that, though.
Okay. I got
he
one.
Does, Whitey.
Yeah.
You can see it.
I know.
I
know.
That's right. Keep it PG, baby.
He'll bring it back around. I got an inside football question for you. This is going back to Monday night. Late in the game, there's 33 seconds left, and the Eagles have the ball. They're leading 10-7. It's 4th and 6 on the 46. So they don't punt. They don't kick a field goal. They throw a deep ball to A.J. Brown. It's incomplete, which gives Green Bay good field position, stops the clock. A lot of people wondered what they were doing. Stevie, there's a theory that Sirianni wanted them to try to draw the Packers off sides. If they did, then they would have tush-pushed it, that he never intended to throw the pass. But that A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts, between the two of them, saw that, and they decided to throw the pass. Some people say you can see Sirianni on the sideline going, why did they throw it? So after the game, of course, the coach didn't throw his players under the bus. He said, I was trying to win the game. Have you ever been in a situation, how likely is that, where the quarterback and the receiver see something, they decide to, let's go for it here, even though it might not be what was called?
Yeah, hey, that's the beauty of it. That's where you see ultimate connections. A lot of times coaches give players, the quarterbacks, plays, and then it gets executed. Well done. But the next level ones are the ones that execute when something goes wrong in the quarterback audibles, i.e. me and Cap on certain plays that we had, me and Fitzpatrick. You know what I'm saying? You guys see it a lot around the league. That situation was just unfortunate because it just didn't work at that time, but that's why those two guys are great and why they won Super Bowls, because I'm pretty sure a lot of the plays in the Super Bowl were kind of unscripted too. And, that's good that, they didn't throw each other under the bus.
Yeah.
The team didn't throw each other under the bus. But yeah, that was just the risk that you take and the sacrifice that you take. And I think it's going to make Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown even stronger because it didn't work. But, hey, you went for it anyway with me. Fortunately, we got the win. But, that was just an unfortunate situation.
Stevie, going back to the Niners, they're going to face the Arizona Cardinals this weekend with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. We don't know what the future of Kyler Murray is there. We spoke about that. But when it comes to the Niners defense again, another stat that's interesting is we talk a lot about the defensive line, but the secondary has not made a lot of opportunities for themselves either. When you look at the team, they're -8 in turnover differential. How much, for the future of this team, do they need to focus on the back end of that defense?
Yeah, you all need athletes to cover these other elite athletes. And if you're slacking on physicality, if you're slacking on athleticism as far as being able to press up on a guy, then you're going to be playing from behind. And that's what we just saw with our 49ers. If you just watch from minute 15 up until minute 11, that's just guys playing off. And if you're playing off, you're not going to win in the league like this because the athletes on the offensive side are too good and the quarterbacks are too good. They're too experienced now. So, you got to be able to build your team in a smart way, though. If you just go big on DBs and you don't get any pressure on the D lineman or anything, you don't add to that, then it's going to be an unbalance because at the end of the day, DBs are behind of the offense. They have to read the offense. So, if you don't get pressure, a DB can only do so much.
Right.
If you get, if you get pressure and you don't have the right DBs playing soft, it doesn't mix. So it's very intricate, and that's the beauty in this game.
And if you blitz and you still don't get
Yeah,
pressure
oh
as the
gosh.
49ers did,
Oh, no.
it's all over, right?
You had to bring it up.
Man, why'd you cold-blooded today? I see,
That's
brother.
what happened.
No, yeah, but he's right because we can take it to the Buffalo Bills side right now. They're dealing with a situation where they didn't have that AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts connection where they need to. All right, look, I'm just gonna trust you, and it cost them. They couldn't get a touchdown within 5 yards of the end zone, and it was cover zero. It's because there's no connection with the QB. So on the Niners side, you're going to have connection in a sense because Brock Purdy, he was the main guy with these receivers. Mac Jones has shown his connections with these guys on plays. So this is still beneficial for the Niners. It's just injuries are there, and you got to, match your defense with how your team is at the current state.
Joined by Stevie Johnson, former NFL wide receiver, 9 years. Pride of Chabot College, of course. We got to make sure we get that in there.
Let's
You know
go.
what I mean?
Shout out to the JUCO Warriors.
Stevie, even though I'm kind of leaning towards the defense on this, but you can jump to the offense for me on this side. When you have somebody that, as Draper walks in the studio all hard like he's the police, if you see behind me on camera, Stevie, shouts out.
Oh, Stevie Johnson.
Great,
Tell my boy Rich Brooks I said what's up, baby.
Where's the camera, dog?
Where the camera at?
Right there. There you go.
All right,
I see
Stevie.
you.
I go
I see
way
you.
back.
One love, family.
Hey, Stevie, Tatum Bethune took over for Fred Warner, of course, due to injury, and coming in, he's wearing the helmet that you can hear from the coach, the transmission helmet. And same thing on offense, you got the quarterback. Does it sound or feel, or is there anything to it to when you have someone who's barking out cadences or barking out the play that's a little different than something that you're used to?
You know what? It shouldn't be an issue, because you got to take it back to Pop Warner days. At some point in time in that player's career, there was a coach that was screaming at him, So that, not saying that it's a negative thing, you scream in a negative way, but there's, frequencies. So I don't think it should play any dividends on a player's play in a game. You just got to be prepared and ready. And, at this point, it's just about reps, though, and trying to stay at 100% because it's so demoralizing when you're attacking 100% and then you're giving up plays on third down, big plays, and then you got to come back and now you getting tricked with play action. And you know what I'm saying? It's so much going on. But, it's a part of the reps when you're new in the system after filling in for injuries because it's so unexpected to be playing.
Stevie Johnson joining us as he does every week here, and we appreciate it very much. You were talking earlier about the 49ers and their playmakers, and, George Kittle is just an incredible player. Ooh. Could you speak, Stevie, you came into the league in 2008. Could you speak, please, to how the tight end position has evolved since you started? Because more and more we're seeing tight ends as receivers in addition to blockers.
Yes. It's such a great asset to have a tight end that can block, be as big as a lineman, but still move similar to a wide receiver, or have the knowledge of understanding movement in a defender because they block and hold them so much. So now they can understand how to utilize that to their benefits. And you've seen the evolution coming from the Gronkowskis, where it's looking like he's very big. I'm about to just block you, and then he can do moves like receivers. Now he's 30 yards down the field. How is this guy 30 yards, But that's the benefit of having tight ends. And then you've seen the Kelsey come in. He was dang near a receiver in college in Cincinnati. Come in here, and now he's, transformed into a pure tight end, but he's the evolution of it.
Jimmy Graham,
Kittle.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Graham. I forgot. Yeah, Graham again. But Kittle, just seeing what he's doing is pretty amazing, and it's great that we have him on our team. It's just about utilizing, everybody, and it's not the offensive side, as we saw again. 319 yards. He had 9 catches, almost 180 plus yards off of an ankle. He's definitely in his groove, and he's showing that he's going to be a threat throughout the rest of the season.
Stevie, one for me in terms of the coaching carousel that is really in every sport, but we see it in the NFL a lot, and we've already seen a couple coaches get their jobs taken from them, and it's Brian Daboll's the latest, obviously, with the New York Giants, and he's out. Do you feel like Brian Daboll, when you look at what he could be, and maybe there's just been misfortune with players, but do you feel like he should have lost his job, or do you feel like, he should have stayed.
Yeah, I don't think he should have lost his job. Yeah, I felt like he was doing everything that he could to balance having the rookie and having the vet, the Super Bowl vet, and trying to get the fire in people, losing his number one target. It's a lot. And then when you see only the coach get fired, it's like, okay, he's got to have a connection, with his assistants. Are those guys getting the message that he need across to the players, and it shows a disconnect when only the coach is getting fired, so maybe it was a situation where he needed to get out of there, and it might be a blessing in disguise for him, and he'll probably fit in another offense that can accept or appreciate the spark and intensity that he was trying to bring.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of playmakers, Stevie, I'm just looking at your numbers here, and of course you played 99 games, you had 381 catches. You carried the ball twice.
Ooh.
Once, and as a rookie. Yeah. First time as a rookie, 6 yards. And then you didn't get another carry until 2013. 1 carry, 10 yards. You got 2 carries. You're averaging 8 yards a pop. Stevie, why didn't they give you the ball more often?
You know what? That's partially on me, and it's partially on them for not putting more on my plate. I was actually playing in a time where it was sort of that transition to big offenses, but not really. I was getting a lot of the passes on third down or when you behind the sticks and things like that, especially being a 7th round draft pick. So it's such a blessing to have even those numbers. And when it comes to running the ball, it's funny because I initially started as a running back, played quarterback. I never threw a pass, I only got 2 rushes, but that's also on me. Why? Because I wasn't vocal about it. There's guys in the league they go to practice and they run around telling coaches, hey, you should give me the ball. You should let me in. I just wasn't that guy. You know what I mean? I'm like, hey, if you see how I run, you should put me in there already. But if you don't, okay, I ain't going to say nothing. But you kind of got to press the issue. And that's like a part of my mentorship where I teach, student athletes and younger pros, like, press the issue because they may not give you that opportunity. And as you see, I never got that opportunity. Why? Because I never pressed the issue for it.
Closed mouth don't get fed.
Yeah. Were those
auntie and mama.
Were those end arounds that you ran?
There was end arounds.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it don't even matter. I could have lined up in the backfield. I should have told them a lot of things that I could have did to, get the defense off and utilize skill set. But I was just letting coaches be coaches. And that's why I'm a little bit more vocal now with players now and on social media, because who knows, one of these coaches might see it and understand, like, okay, that actually what needs to be done, and that'll help the teams that I'm rooting for, which is the Niners, Bills, and the Chargers.
Yeah. 10 yards a carry, Jay.
I know, he's toting the rocks,
right?
man.
Okay, I'm like Cook. I'm like Cook. I'm like McCaffrey. Come on.
Right? Utilize it in both.
Stevie, man, talking about somebody who can do it all, Lamar Jackson. He's back, and it looked like, the AFC North is paying attention, which you would ask me literally 3 weeks. Even with Lamar coming back, I'd have said it's over. It's over. But now Lamar is back, and I'm pretty much saying this is a Ravens division from here on out in my mind. Does a guy like Lamar change the whole division? If you're the Browns, the Bengals, the Steelers, or you're looking at it like we're still in front of, the Ravens, even though Lamar is back?
Oh, no. It's that the way you intro that, he's back. That's exactly how they feel like, oh, yeah, the boy is back. And at this point, you got to respect it. Again, the past is the past, but he's a 2-time MVP, and he is him. The thing is, I feel like the Pittsburgh Steelers will still be competitive as far as them, reaching signings with guys on defense and Asante Samuel Jr. to add him to a defense that's already got attitude like Jalen Ramsey. I think they're going to enjoy the competition. But at the end of the day, they definitely got their eye on the Ravens. You have to. You have to.
He's back. And speaking of he's back, Jameis Winston is back as a starting quarterback, baby, for the New York Giants. I'm just curious as your take. I mean, Jameis has been around for so long, and I know he's not found the success that people would have wanted him to find as a first-round quarterback. But my goodness, if you don't like this guy and just what he brings to the table, then I don't think you like people.
Yeah, for sure, man. And he is like the definition of taking advantage of opportunities, to the fullest. And the opportunity isn't even positive or negative. Not only positive, there's negative opportunities, and that's what sparked my mind with him. He's the number one pick, Heisman guy, and he was getting demoted, playing behind multiple quarterbacks. But he always utilized those positions that he was in for positive or uplifting, and and he was outspoken about it in a world where if a person spoke as much as you did in your position, you get ridiculed, and maybe you want to shelter up. But I mean, his unwavering faith is good to see that he still got his opportunity and still going.
Speaking of unwavering faith, Stevie, before we let you go, how confident are you that the 49ers get this done this week against Arizona?
You know what? Again, it's going to come down to, are those guys going to compete and press early, or are you going to play off coverage and get ate up? Because Brissett is in a position where he's trying to get a starting job now. Kyler Murray's been there for years. Hey, I'm trying to find a spot. So they're going to try to air the ball out. So if they're playing off, again, we go be in catch-up mode. If they're playing press, then we go see some competition out of the 49ers against this Cardinal team.
Why don't they listen,
Stevie?
I know.
Yeah,
what the
come
heck?
And Stevie, I just need you to do me a favor from here on out. When Whitey asks you those questions weekly, just come all positive. Don't even give him anything negative, because what Whitey gonna do, he'll take it, and then come Friday, he gonna be like, Jay, you heard Stevie. Stevie said you just gotta be a little hesitant.
Hey, look, at least he getting it straight from the source. He figuring out a way to make it happen. That's what these quarterbacks and defenses got to do. Figure out a way to make it happen.
Thank you, Stevie. We appreciate it very much, and we look forward to talk to you again. Enjoy the games this weekend.
Yes, one love, teammates.
Thanks, Stevie.
Stevie Johnson, 707.
Appreciate you, fam.
Yeah.
He can always answer anything, man. Throw whatever his way.
Uh-huh. First year, they give him one carry, 6 yards.
That's crazy.
It. You don't give him another one for, 7 years. One more carry, 10 yards. Okay, we're done.
Yeah,
okay.
that's all.
Yeah.
That's all you get. Using that specific package, and then it's done. That's got to be fun, though, when you do get to tote the rock a little.
Yeah, I think he returned a punt once, too. That would be terrifying.
That's tough. Have you guys ever done it?
No.
Yes.
Why, it is. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
And until it has to become second nature. But if not, man, everything is bearing down on you. It feels like everything is. I've never played quarterback, but I could only imagine.
You can't drop the ball.
No.
Yeah. If someone throws you a pass, you drop it. That's terrible, but it's incomplete. You drop a fumble. You drop a punt.
Yep.
Ooh, you got big problems.
Exactly. And then you're backed up, and it's a whole mess.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why a lot of these rookie guys, too, they just lose their jobs right away because they can never get comfortable because there's so much pressure in that position.
The one that kills me is when you see a poor guy and he gets the ball hits him in the face mask. Because you could see how that might happen because you think, okay, I'm good. Toink.
You know what? This is years ago now. You know what I used to do? I never would catch it. Put me
Fair
back there,
catch,
coach.
Exactly.
Fair catch. If it's not there, just let it bounce, get into the end zone. And just about every time I got lucky, it was like, oh, yeah.
Right.
Hey, great job, Jay.
Yeah.
No doubt, baby. Thank you. Thank you. I
You're
appreciate you.
Phew.
Yeah. Kickoffs, and now I know kickoffs are different, but kickoffs,
different.
you got a little time.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
They're not here yet. I dropped. That's all right. I'll pick it up and I'll go. But a punt,
It's like
first of all,
comes
sometimes
straight.
just catching it is not as easy as it looks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's one of the harder things, I think, that, sometimes in sports you see things we all think, oh, that's easy. That's one of the tougher things. Even catching a pop-up in baseball.
I'm telling you. And we've seen the best of them miss it sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You
The
know?
wind starts to swirling
Or
in
the sun.
Yeah. But what do we all say? A guy drops a pop-up. Boo!
Boo! How did he drop that?
Yeah, go back to Little League.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you as confident in the 49ers this week as Stevie is?
I am, because it's the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, they're without one of their top receivers, too.
Yes. Yeah. So the next 4 weeks, as we mentioned earlier, as you probably know, the 49ers face Jacoby Brissett, Bryce Young, Dylan Gabriel, and Cam Ward. Maybe, there's your 4-game ticket back into the playoff picture.
But the defense got to pick it up a little.
Mm-hmm. That's maybe some good matchups for your young secondary, right? I know
Exactly.
Vic Tafer's going to write about that.
Yep.
Yeah. Jay, is catching a pop-up harder than it looks in baseball?
Yeah, if you've never played it, yeah, sure.
But with the wind sometimes, and the sun, and
Or the shade. You know when the shade-sun situation happens?
Mm-hmm.
It's
That's
way
all weird.
easier to catch a fly ball than a punt.
Yes, I
Oh,
agree.
yeah.
That's not even close.
Exactly.
To me.
Yeah. The toughest one for an infielder is when you're going out and you know the outfielder's coming in and you can't stop and look at him because you'll lose the ball.
The collisions, man, those ones are tough to watch.
You know, I've always said I'm going to go get the fly ball until otherwise stated.
Yep.
Exactly.
So that's kind of how I approach it. And if I know other thing, too, is if I know I can't get it, I'll never call it until I feel like, oh, yeah, that's within my reach.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't hear the outfielder, then I'm assuming
then
no one's there.
That thing's just
hitting the grab.
It's going to hit the carpet.
Yeah, when we come back, Kings are far from alone on the NBA struggle bus. Jerry Reynolds, top of the hour, 2. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Let's go!
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heat and Air. Right now, breaking news, they're upgrading their offering to include plumbing, bringing that same expertise and experience to the plumbing space. They're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy Home Pros. You hear me talk about them as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get second opinions on any HVAC service or replacement, and now you can get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. They'll come out to your house for free, and they'll give you a second opinion and almost certainly save you money. Oh, but wait, there's more. With winter coming up, how about a free furnace special? With full system installation, you're getting a free furnace, not a discounted furnace, a free furnace, and up to $4,000 in rebates while that funding lasts. So get there right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next-day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game and high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. Offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Black Friday savings start now. Get your best deal through the end of the month at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
With Black Friday savings during Happy Honda Days, own or lease your new Honda Accord or Civic today. Your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Visit us at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Guys, tired all the time? Gaining weight? Low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is making it easier to get answers with a comprehensive wellness panel. It's not just a lab test, It's where better performance begins. Our providers will check your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. A $400 value for just $99, or free if you start treatment. Over 120,000 men have trusted Revive to restore their energy, mood, and confidence. So if you're ready to feel better and live stronger, call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Offer ends November 30th. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Jerry Reynolds going to join us top of the hour. Before we get back to the Kings conversation, couple things on Kayla Anderson. Nice enough to join us today. First of all, Jay got a question about how to follow her, where to follow her, where to find her on social media. And Jay, you didn't know, right?
I didn't. I follow her in person.
Like, where are you in the atmosphere of social media? You know?
So, Kayla, now you have to give it.
Yes. So my handle on really any social media platform is at Kayla Anderson, and I spell mine with an S-O-N, TV. So at Kayla Anderson TV. And I'm, on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Instagram, TikTok.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then one other Kayla Anderson matter here. Jay, I just found out that Kayla played softball.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Can you guess her position? You had like a primary and then a secondary. So
yeah, they would make me do other things when needed.
So you get points for guessing either one.
Okay.
You win the game if you can get both.
She looks like an outfielder to me, right? So I'm going to say a center fielder.
That's correct.
Look at CJ. I know Jay.
Yeah.
Jay and I know. I got his Twix candy bar right that one day. Yep.
Right. And then there's a secondary.
Yeah, that they would at times utilize.
Don't tell too much.
Okay. So then if there's a secondary growing up, when people say secondary, there's only two positions. I'm going to say a pitcher is their secondary position.
What would be the other one you would have said?
Catcher.
Golly.
Catcher.
What the? He got it all right.
Yeah.
In that order.
See?
It goes baseball / softball.
There you go.
Yeah.
Are you righty or lefty?
Righty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because in softball,
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, you see a lot of left-handed catchers too.
You do. You
Yeah.
absolutely do. And I really do think, because my mom's a lefty, I think if I would have been like at a young age taught both, I think I could have actually done both. Because I can utilize my left hand in certain things.
You're
but
amphibious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Ambidextrous.
Ambidextrous. Yeah.
I know. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
The more you know.
So you're a ball hawk in center field. You just catch everything.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I loved center field. I know a lot of people hated that, like growing up, if they had to play outfield. especially when you're a youth player and they're like, you're sticking me in outfield. I like embraced it.
Yeah, well, I didn't play as much as Jay, but when I played mostly infield. So being in
Yeah.
outfield's like, this is a freaking vacation. You know?
It is.
Yeah.
That is what you
Hit the
feel
ball,
like.
I run over and catch
Right,
it. What's
right.
hard about that?
But the minute that, Jay, you probably can attest this, like the minute that you don't get a lot of opportunities. So if you make a mistake or you don't make the most of your opportunities, then like you're out.
It's compounded.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, were you if you were good with the left hand, did you hit? Were you a switch hitter,
See,
more
and that's-
right hitter,
well, that's-
right-handed, left-handed? Where'd you come?
No, I was right-handed, but the thing is that's what I was talking about. Like, if I would have maybe at a young age been able to, like, my parents would have known that, maybe I could have mastered both sides of the plate. That would have been cool.
You still have time.
Yeah, you got a little
I
action.
want to go to the cages sometime. If you guys are ever up for it, we should do like a batting cage day.
What are you talking about?
He lives there.
Well, that's a
we gotta
problem.
do
I
that.
don't. The last 4 or 5 months, I've taken a vacation.
Oh, really?
So Jay, we got to do that because I like getting my frustrations out on the bat, like going to the cage.
Come on.
Yeah.
Have you been to one since you've been here?
No.
What?
Absolutely not. No, I have not.
Oh, we need to drive guys
I
on
know.
location batting.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
There are some great
That'd be cool.
indoor batting cages popping up through Sacramento right now.
In addition to the, Scandias and all that.
Oh yeah, definitely. In
That'd be
addition,
awesome.
absolutely. There are. Do we have a deal with Scandia anymore? We used to.
I don't know.
Like a couple years ago. But there are some great indoor cages jumping up through Sacramento. If you get an opportunity to rock and do so.
Yeah.
I'd
One
love
of
to
my
hear that.
favorite moments from this show is we were talking to Greg Vaughn one time, former Padre, Tampa Bay, Brewer,
Everything,
real
yeah.
slugger, hit a lot of home runs. He said he took his son or grandson, took somebody, a youth in his family, to the batting cages, and he said the youngster was all excited about the exit velocity. Look at that! And he was like, "It doesn't matter."
What? Say what?
Yeah. He said the way he was taught, if you hit it and you can see the backs of their jerseys, then you did something right because they're chasing it. But exit velocity, he didn't want to hear anything about that.
Velo, baby.
Yeah.
What's up right
Yeah.
Smokes.
Looking at, go ahead, John.
No, I don't even want to talk about nothing else for the rest of the
I know,
segment. I
right?
want to talk softball with Kayla.
Yes.
Whitey, if that's
Yeah.
okay with
Pardon
you.
me.
I mean, let's go.
Please,
Yeah.
man. Okay, so wait. What's the claim to fame for Kayla Anderson on the softball field?
I would say, like in high school, we had a pretty good program at West Valley. At our program in terms of
What's the nickname of the
the
team?
Eagles.
Okay.
We were the Eagles.
Not the War Eagle or anything?
Not the War Eagles or anything. No. And my school was pretty small though, so I think our school was probably like at the most 800. The whole school. So I would say like the 2 years that we were really good though, we made it to state, and I would say that
softball?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I would say that we had a pretty solid team, and hitting wise, like defensively, we didn't win it all, but I was part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What'd you hit in the order typically?
I'm going to say 6, 7,
yeah,
8.
7.
See?
Yeah. At least I wasn't last.
Go
yeah,
get it.
yeah.
You know?
Sometimes those mean a lot.
Sometimes they do mean a lot.
Slappy? You already slappy? Were you gap to gap? Did you run? What did you do?
We didn't have as much because I'm old, so we weren't slapping as much at that age in high school because that had just started to become a thing, kind of probably after I graduated. I think the one thing, and the reason why I wasn't good enough to go play softball, wherever at the college level, but that's hence why I did what I did, because I wanted to go into sports with something. But I'll tell you this much. I'm such a big fan of college softball. I love watching the game.
I love it too.
It is such a great game.
Very entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you become such a big baseball fan?
So growing up, my dad's godparents were the parents of Ryan Sandberg. So Ryan Sandberg's a Spokane native, and RIP lost a great one here recently. And so we, grew up with baseball and being like, obviously Mariners fans, but also we followed Ryan's career, what he became.
Pretty good career.
Yeah, and then I would start collecting baseball cards because I was like, oh, we kind of know, like this guy's kind of connected to us somehow. And then I started collecting baseball cards, and I would trade them out on the playground with the boys, and people were like, what is this girl doing? And then I just became such a fan of the game, and obviously played in youth softball at a young age, and then just continued that through high school. So
there you go, Jay.
Yeah.
Love it.
And then I covered just throughout my career so much baseball and minor league baseball, a lot of minor league baseball at every level, which I really actually enjoyed because I learned even more about the game.
Is it the Bellingham Mariners? Bellingham
Bellingham
Mariners.
Yep. I've covered the Montgomery Biscuits, which was a
Montgomery
fun one.
Biscuits.
That was probably
What level is that?
That's Double A, and I covered Evan Longoria.
Okay.
When he became
Double A.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was like the big one.
Yakima Bears?
Yeah, Yakima Bears.
Really? That's
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Yakima. You
Okay.
said it right.
All right.
Spokane
there we go.
Indians.
There we go.
Used to be the AAA Dodgers back in the day.
Yeah.
So.
How about that, Jay?
Man.
Yeah.
We're in the presence of a softballer.
They don't put just anybody in center field, as you will
No,
know.
absolutely. You got to go track them down.
That's right. That's right. Jerry, top of the hour, as I mentioned. When we come back, more on the Kings. Kings are far from alone on the NBA struggle bus. That's next. Sactown Sports.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home with a 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
Around here, Maverick is more than a name. It's who we are. My dad climbed power poles for a living, and he taught me to keep homes running when it gets cold. This November, donate 5 canned foods to our holiday food drive and choose a furnace tune-up or an electrical safety check. We'll collect your cans at the appointment and keep your heat comfy and your lights steady. So the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com. Limited November appointments. Some restrictions may apply.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Eric Church is back and bringing his unforgettable live show to Sacramento. Eric Church, Free the Machine Tour. With special guest, Charles Wesley Godwin. Golden One Center, November 13th. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. His new album, Evangeline vs. the Machine, is out now. One epic night of music that you won't want to miss. Eric Church, Free the Machine Tour. Live at Golden One Center, November 13th. Get tickets now. For more, visit ericchurch.com. Produced by Messina Touring Group.
Like the beam for Sacramento Kings. We the beam team, ayy. Like the beam for Sacramento Kings. Like the beam. Like the beam for Sacramento Kings. We the beam team, ayy. Like the beam for Sacramento Kings. Like the
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Not everybody thinks the Kings should be rebuilding. We found out yesterday from Carmichael Dave that the Kings have started a rebuild officially. We'll see where that goes. We'll see if they have, in fact, officially started a rebuild. Kings losing last night, got the Hawks tonight. But I was listening today, of course, to Alan Stiles, and he had Ramsey on. And Ramsey probably speaks for a lot of fans when he looks at the standings. And I'm not calling Ramsey out because this is what he said on the air today. And like I say, a lot of people probably agree. He says, look, the Kings have to win tonight. Why, Ramsey? Because right now, they're only a game out of the 10th spot.
See?
Now, Utah's in the 10th spot at 4-7. Memphis is 4-8. They're 11th. The Clippers are 3-7. And the Kings are 3-8, 13th, but they're 7.5 games out of first place. So they're one game out of the 10th spot. And I know there are some fans, I think they're the minority. I don't know that for a fact. Some fans want to, just get in to the play-in, and then who knows?
It is like, that's the thing, would that mean enough? Like, even if you get into the play-in, but you're going to be out maybe, well, you're probably going to be out,
We've done that the last 2 years, and it's not great.
Yeah, because it's almost like it's a teaser almost. Like you're getting there, but then there's nothing more after that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an appetizer, but then you don't get the rest of the dinner and dessert.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it though. Like you always want to win. As a fan, as an organization, you want the wins. But it's just almost like, well, but we kind of know we're not going to get to the mountaintop.
Yeah. And you look, over the years where you go from a 3 seed to the play-in, don't make it out of the play-in, to a play-in, don't make it out of the play-in. So you can see where that's trending. So it does seem logically, if you think and take your emotion out of it, that it would make sense that, okay, maybe it's a good time to retool. But I get it, to your point. There are some fans like, no, I go to the games to see them win games.
Yeah, we want to light the beam. And speaking of the beam, maybe they can light it tonight before they go. Man, when I'm looking at this road trip, by the way, guys, this is a long road trip because they've got Atlanta tonight, and then they go at Minnesota, at San Antonio, at Oklahoma City, at Memphis, at Denver. Whoa. And I know there's some easier ones in there.
Not a lot.
But not a lot.
Yeah. Memphis, as we said, 4-8. So, yeah, this has been just... It's not an excuse. It's a fact. The schedule has been nothing short of murderous so far.
It has been. And I think that's the part where you have to maybe look at Doug Christie and I'm not going to say you have to back off him or whatever. You can do what you want as a fan. But I would say, given the situation he's dealing with right now with the roster and trying to find the right thing that's going to work before they can, maybe trade players or figure out what they want to do with that, you're also navigating a really difficult schedule. And it is what it is. Like, that is what it's been for the most part. Now, they missed opportunities early on with a couple of those, but it's been a tough one.
Part of being a fan is being a little delusional, don't you think?
Absolutely. You got to be a real fan.
So if you're a fan and you look at the way this season has gone so far for the Kings, and you say, wow, if it weren't for Doug Christie, maybe they'd be in the top 10. I think that's delusional. Mm-hmm. Again, fans are delusional, but I think you're over evaluating how good this team is right now. There's not a lot that Doug Christie could do, in my opinion, to this point, could have done for this record to be much better. And again, I don't know, but I'm not sure that he's making all the roster decisions and the rotational decisions on his own.
Yeah, and I know last night, he said in that statement before the game in the presser that everybody is aligned. And that, I think, more so for the ultimate future of this organization, right, and what they want to do moving forward. But we don't know, like you said, on a night-to-night basis, how much in terms of the starting lineup and the rotations, how much say does he really, really have? We saw it with Keon Ellis, and I know that he played a little bit in the first quarter, last night, but he had not been playing until the fourth quarter. But it didn't seem like that was just because Doug was like, I just don't want to put him out there. It's like, or is he getting some other things from above saying, hey, look, we got to put our stars out there. We got to have them be seen.
Mm-hmm. Because we're trying to generate interest in them. Brett Siegel was on today with Alan Stiles. And Brett Siegel, he's been on our show, right, Jay?
Of course. We gave him to Alan.
Yeah.
There we go.
We lended him out to Alan.
Right.
At this point.
He and Alan are very tight now.
Yeah.
Brett Siegel's forgotten all about this show.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. Brett Siegel, Clutch Points, he was asked about who on the Kings roster does it make sense they might be able to trade. He doesn't know, but he knows how these things work. He said maybe trading DeRozan as a rental makes the most sense, perhaps for a young player who hasn't worked out for his current team. We'd all love for the Kings to be able to trade some of these big contract veterans for 7 number ones, 7 first-round picks. Probably not going to happen. If you can get any, that's great, but that is something to be looking for. This is something we've been talking with Jerry Reynolds about for years. If you can find young players that haven't quite found it where they are yet, but that you can see still have upside, those are great assets to bring in if you're rebuilding.
I think with the point of that too, and specifically with DeMar DeRozan, and that's why this is such a waiting game, and you have to be patient to even see what they're going to do, because come, time for competing for a playoff spot in the NBA and that time of year, like that's when they're really going to become valuable. And, making sure that they're playing, but also making sure that you're not just like overplaying them because of the injury part of it. There's a lot to really manage on top of just trying to win games. You're thinking about your future too, and how you want to utilize these guys as trade bait. And it's kind of not on your timeline. It's on everybody else's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and another team that's struggling in the West, they were feeling really good about themselves. They're really good at feeling really good about themselves. Very recently, Jay's favorite squad, the Golden State Warriors.
Oh, yeah.
They're getting cuffed around these days.
They are.
They've fallen to 6-6. They're 1-6 on the road.
You got a mediocre team.
Draymond Green said yesterday, I feel like not everybody is committed to winning. So then people wondering, who is he talking about? We don't know. Jimmy Butler said, I think he's partly correct. So I don't know.
Okay.
But, yeah.
So who do we think?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I do know that Jimmy historically has not always given his best early in the year.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's that. They have struggled defensively. The Kings kicked them around pretty good here, but they were very shorthanded. But they got cuffed by the Thunder last night. I think they're...
Yeah, that was not a good showing.
Yeah.
That was not a good showing. And I already know that Alan was joking about this, but I don't think he was. Alan Stiles was joking about the Kuminga watch again. Because we all know how he he started it again. He started it again.
Serious?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't got nothing else to do between 10 and 2.
Come on, Alan.
He's gonna start to bring that Kuminga name up.
Alan's my guy, but he makes it hard sometimes. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
Right, Jay?
you
know, Jay?
Yeah, it is difficult, man.
Wow.
I know
Warriors
a
have the
lot of
Spurs
people
tonight, by the way.
Yeah, a lot of people pointed at the Kuminga. Jonathan Kuminga. Draymond and Jimmy must be talking about Jonathan Kuminga. Who knows? Why you're 100% correct. Who knows who they're talking about?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're trying to send a message internally. And from the likes of it and the sounds of it, Draymond doesn't have a problem telling anybody inside the building how he feels. And so I'm glad they're not winning, first of all, because they jumped out like gangbusters.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was getting ready. It was looking bad, and it's still
Didn't
early
they
in
do
the
that
season.
last year too?
They
Early,
did.
very early.
Yeah. The only thing that I think they can take solace is Will Richard looks to be pretty good, and he's playing, right?
I like him.
From
He's-
Florida.
Yeah.
Guard from Florida. He looks okay. I guess you can throw Podziemski in there. Like, where do we feel on Podziemski? Where is he at?
I feel like they have kind of historically overvalued him there.
Yeah.
They love him, and he's not bad, but
He's not changing
he's not
around
shooting the ball
things.
well.
What else is he bringing to the
Mm-hmm.
table?
Yeah. Remember after his rookie year, there was talk of them making a move for Markkanen, and supposedly they were not going to trade him.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would change immediately.
Right?
They might. I don't know if they had a shot at Larry Markkanen, but if they did, they probably regret that.
Would either of you two be interested in Podziemski?
Nope.
Yeah.
I think I'm with you.
Same
but
here.
Just want to hear why.
I don't think he gives me anything I don't currently have, and I don't
He's
know
a
that he
guard.
has that much upside. And he's he's had a nice career so far, and he's going to get better. But obviously, if you were to get Kuminga, there's a lot he brings to you that you don't currently have. Whereas Podziemski's like, I already have that.
And I just think when I'm thinking about this team and like what kind of move I'd want to make, it's like, what is the deficiency of this team right now? Size, right? And
How much time do you have? But yes,
exactly. I mean, but we were just going over that stat of like giving up 87 points. Matt George brought up 87 points. Matt George.
Right, that's a joke.
Who? To centers? To three starting centers?
He literally was piggybacking my tweet, but yes.
Wait, George? What? I didn't know that.
Well, he retweeted me and then added because I said
so he gave
last
some love.
2.5 games, blah, blah, and he said yes, and here's the updated.
Okay, both of y'all get some respect on that because when I saw that, and then he asked Doug Christie about it after the game, and Doug Christie's response was pretty much like nothing's going to happen immediately because we need them to sprint every time.
Yeah, that was really interesting because he said, you can't stand there and daydream.
He said that. He's like, we got to sprint. He was like emphasizing that so many times.
You can't just jog to your position. You got to sprint.
And he's like, and that's going to take time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Jerry Reynolds is going to join us with more next on Sactown Sports. Yay.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey everyone, it's Kyle Draper here. If you're in the market for a new car, let me tell you about my experience with Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the moment I walked into their state-of-the-art showroom, I knew I was making the right choice. There was no pressure from the sales staff, and if I'm being honest, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV, and let me tell you why. First of all, the comfort. After a long day at work, I actually look forward to being in my car. It has several different massage settings, including my favorite, hot relaxing back. Plus, the seat heating and cooling features are perfect for the hot summer or those chilly mornings. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. They're just a short drive down I-5, or you can shop online anytime at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com, and tell them Drape sent you.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take DayQuil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the DayQuil.
Undo your flu symptoms with DayQuil Intense Flu. DayQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
DayQuil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu, medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
At Bank of America, we asked our teammates, what makes this company a great place to work?
There's very little that you can't accomplish working for Bank of America.
If you prove yourself, you can try over in a totally new way.
You can learn so much here. You're the owner of your career.
See how our teammates are growing in their careers at bankofamerica.com/great place to work. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
The holidays can be a time of increased stress for those struggling with opioid or stimulant addiction. They can also be a time for pause, reflection, opportunity, and new beginnings. This holiday season, choose treatment and recovery. Embrace the company of family and friends and create special moments. Find a proven opioid or stimulant addiction treatment provider near you at ChooseChangeCA.org.
Hey there, Mark and Tom, the travel and entertainment guys with you, brought to you by Sports Leisure Vacations. Time for our weekly travel tip, and with it, here's Mark Hoffman.
A number of years ago, the airlines figured out they could break up their product and charge us more for the pieces. Passengers would not only buy a ticket, we could be enticed to pay for a little more legroom in coach or what the airlines considered a preferred seat in the middle of the plane. Hotels have been watching. Now they're creating their own versions of unbundled pricing. Some services are new, some are not. Words of warning, it's time to check your hotel confirmations carefully. Hotels that let you check in early or stay late without charge will be fewer and further between. Want extra pillows or bottled water in your room? Pony up a few bucks. Service is included on the level it used to be. Nickel and diming your customers is in fashion. Buyers beware, or at least Be informed.
More tips to make you a smarter traveler Saturdays at 11 a.m. right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140.
Yeah. They do not know what Sactown brings.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Here we go. As we get ready for the Kings and the Hawks. Nice enough to join us. You know, every time he comes on, we mention that he's an all-time Kings icon. Further proof of that last night when Coach Christie was talking to the media, and he said, there's only two people who have sat in this seat who understand the pain of Kings fans. He said Rick Edelman, and he said our next guest, the one and only Jerry Reynolds. How did that feel, Jerry, to be name-checked by Coach Christie?
Well, he would be accurate. We certainly, Rick and I would certainly qualify, and But I mean, there's certainly no pain in talking to Jay and Kayla and you.
Thank
obviously,
you.
So nice.
Just simply is an honor, an absolute honor.
Wow, that's nice, Jerry. We appreciate that.
Yeah,
that must be because Kayla's here, Whitey. It wasn't because of me and you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. You got a question for Jerry? Anything you want to ask?
You know,
him, Kayla?
Jerry, I feel privileged to be able to be speaking to you today. And I know you have been and seen a lot in terms of the NBA. So I want to just go right out and ask you, what is one of your most favorite unique stories in terms of the NBA and what you have maybe seen or heard?
She's setting you up, Jer.
Well, that's a great question. You mean recently or ever?
Yeah, let's start recently. Yeah, because I'm interested to see like what is interesting or unique to you now.
Well, the thing that sort of interests me right now is the San Antonio Spurs, and Wembanyama is looking like the guy he was supposed to be as a rookie. In other words, he's certainly a one of one, but in my mind, until you start winning, stats don't mean much. And he looks like to me that, he's very capable of leading the Spurs into contention. And so that's to me a new look. I mean that obviously they hadn't even made the playoffs yet.
Yeah.
So, but I mean I think they're capable of really contending with Oklahoma City and Denver, primarily because of him. Although they've got an awfully good young team.
Jerry, there's been a lot of talk around here this week, the last couple of days, of maybe the Kings are going into a rebuild. You mentioned San Antonio. It's interesting to me because they hit the jackpot, got Wembanyama, but it still is taking them time to get there. My question is, realistically, how long do you think it would take for a team like the Kings maybe to get back to where they're relevant if they do head into a rebuild?
Well, I think they're in a tough spot because, how many picks can they get? What kind of cap room can they get? Because you can't get in the free agent market if you don't have significant cap room. I always go back to when it turned for us in 98, 99, the lockout season, and we're able to kind of go from bad to pretty good right away. But it was probably another year before the team, a little more significant, but my point was being it went to being a 27-23 in the lockout season, but the difference was change coaches, and the coach was Rick Edelman. Turned out pretty good actually, and then had two lottery picks at the same time because Peja Stojakovic and Jason Williams joined the team. So you had two young stars types, and then you also had a really great asset to trade which was Mitch Richmond, to get a great asset, which was Weber. And then you also had cap room. Did not match an offer on Brian Grant, but that money then was used to get Vlade Divac. So what I'm saying is, if you need some things in place, and right now, they're going to have to find a way to get cap room, because you can't just do it through the draft. You'd be like Philly was 15 years ago, trust the process, and 7 years later, you're still winning 15 games. So I mean, you've got to be able to get draft picks, certainly, and then also be able to make trades that are significant trades that help you, and at some point, and then also free agency. I mean, if you look at Oklahoma City or Indiana, the two finalists last year, that was kind of their blueprint, but it wasn't. They drafted well, but equally important was free agent signings and trades. So it's a combination of all three.
Jerry, when you're a young coach in this league and you're a first-time coach like Doug Christie is here as the head coach, there's a lot of things that are going to come your way right away if you're not winning, obviously. But what about Doug Christie screams to you like he can have success, he can be a future, successful head coach?
Yeah, I'm a Doug Christie fan. I mean, I know he really has a great understanding of the game from not just a player's perspective, but he studied it, and he really is dedicated, and I think he really can be a player's coach, which is probably something you have to be a little more of in today's game. I think it's a case of, as a young coach like he is, there is a little bit of learning on the job, and the tough thing for him, and I've always said, there's only two things you can do once you have your roster. That's try to motivate him and utilize them correctly. Well, he's got a roster that's quite honestly kind of unbalanced, and I mean, you could motivate five guards, get them sky high, and they're still going to get their butts beat,
Mm-hmm. I feel, Jerry, like Doug, when he talks about laying the foundation for this team of being a team that picks up 94 feet, playing defense, I feel like he's putting down new flooring, but then he's got the guys that are currently on the roster, and they're standing on it, and he can't put it down until those guys are gone. You know what I mean?
Well, it's tough. What's really tough is when you get, guys that are 30 years old or been in the league a long time and established a lot of success playing the way they play.
Yeah.
It's guys just aren't, it's like, hey, I can go somewhere else and do what I do. So it's really a tough situation there, I mean, and I mean, even if they're, say, willing to try, it doesn't mean they have kind of the wherewithal to do it. I mean, it's it'd be kind of like saying, well, yeah, you'd like to have Brad Miller back in his day press all up 94 feet. Well, that's not going to work.
Wouldn't work, yeah.
Even if he wanted to do it.
When it comes to, though, some of those young players that are on the team right now and that he can help mold right away, one of those guys is clearly Nick Clifford. What have you seen early on from him? And I'm sure we'll get to see his minutes increase.
Boy, I like him. I mean, he really is an all-around player. He's got a real game. Kind of with this team, you wish he was 2 or 3 inches taller, but I mean, he can play several positions. I think, to me, and I've said this before, I think you've just got to find 20 minutes a game for him some way. You're going to have to take him away from somebody, but he's got a chance to be really good, and find out, more about him. He plays with a lot of confidence. He's got handling skills. He shoots the three easy. He's one of those rare guys that as a young player, that the game looks fairly easy for him. Mm-hmm. I mean, the game's not easy, but only the really good ones can make them look that way.
It seems to me, Coach, that when he does get called for a foul or something and he kind of doesn't understand, he gives the officials a quizzical look, but it doesn't bother him. He plays through that. He learns and he doesn't get flustered by it.
Yeah, maybe as he gets older, he'll learn to pout and whine and whimper. Maybe we got that to look forward to. I hope not.
Jerry, it's crazy. Russell Westbrook, one of the greatest of all times when it's all said and done, I'm sure, at that position, comes in, and I don't think everybody was expecting him to do what he's done. Some may have, but what has surprised you or not surprised you the most about Wes?
Well, what hasn't surprised me is he busts his hump. I mean, that guy is one of the hardest working, most competitive players I've ever seen. That guy, he wants to play every game, every minute, and he plays every play. Now, he's not the player he was when he's 27, but it is remarkable to me also. The thing that surprised me the most is his outside shooting looks better than ever has. Certainly his corner three. I mean, he's stroking the ball very nice. And Russ was never, even in his early days when he was at his peak, he was not a great shooter. He was just a great, great player.
Yeah. How about, not to pile on him here, but Dennis Schroeder, we know that he's a better shooter than he's showing right now, and we know that he's been hobbled a little bit. When I see him shoot, Coach, I feel like either he's lost his confidence right now or he's hurt or something, because it just doesn't look good coming out of his hand.
Yeah, it doesn't, and it doesn't look good when it doesn't go in the basket either, does it? That's true. Yeah. No, he's really. Yeah, I know he's a better player than he's playing, but he hasn't been effective at all. I mean, to be honest, I think he had one game where it looked like we thought he would, where he scored a little bit, and his assist to turnover ratio was good. So I think that's obviously been a negative. I mean, I don't want to jump on him or anything, but he's not playing very well, and that doesn't make it easier on Coach Christie either, because he was brought in here to kind of be a leader and to direct the team, and right now he's not directing it very well.
When it comes to, playing all four quarters, and we hear this all the time, and, you can't play perfectly, but especially with a team that has deficiencies like the Kings.
You can't play perfectly?
Well, maybe you can.
Well, somebody said you did back in your softball days. I heard
you were
that.
listening. You were listening.
Yeah,
I wish I were that perfect. I'd be playing in college. But for three quarters, essentially, against the Nuggets last night, they played well, but the fourth quarters, it's like that fourth quarter comes along, Jerry, and you almost can feel like, okay, that's where we're going to see the gap start to happen, and then there's no catching up. Is there anything they can do with the roster they have right now to close games better?
Well, the thing that was surprising to me about that is that was with Jokic off the floor.
Yeah.
And I was really surprised by that. They really, of course, Murray was kind of the one main guy out there with reserves, and they just really took over. I thought the defensive intensity for them did pick up, and the Kings didn't handle it very well. Really, I thought took some tougher shots and got a little sloppy with the ball, and I'm sure that was a surprise to Coach Christie. I think it was a surprise to Coach Adelman, for that matter, too.
Yeah.
But to your point is, probably for 42 minutes they played them even. But that stretch, and especially it was surprised me how the Kings bench in the first half was much better than the Nuggets. But there in the fourth, their bench was outstanding. Now, I don't know if they can do that every night, but they did. But to your point, that's a great question. I don't know. I really think the only thing that Coach Mike can do is during the game, you might find some surprises of guys. He's playing 10 or 11 guys. Make sure maybe if it looks like it's getting off track, make sure that whoever's been playing well's on the floor. That's about all you can do, I think. And it's like Murray made couple of really tough shots.
Yeah.
He was really well defended, and sometimes you just say, I don't know. I mean, other than trying to curse at him or something, which
Right.
I would have done, but that
I love it.
but then I wasn't a very classy person either.
We're already friends. We're already friends.
Who was the most difficult shot maker you've ever seen? A guy that he had made that a habit, like taking those. No. Wow, what a shot!
Boy, well, there's so many. I mean, Reggie Miller comes to mind. Obviously, Jordan, but he didn't have to take tough shots for the most part. he was so good. You go back to those days, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's so many great players, and I always say that a guy that's kind of been forgotten that was truly great, an older player, Bernard King, could really make tough shots.
Yeah,
because he really used the backboard so well, and lost art in today's game.
Yeah.
So I think of a modern player that I always just was amazed at, or more modern, was Manu Ginobili.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he was so creative. You just think he can't get to the basket that way, or he has no angle for that shot. But it's kind of why he's in the Hall of Fame, I guess.
Yeah, that and the bat thing, of course. It's time for Jay to ask you his throwback question of the week. What do we got, Jay?
Yeah, Legend, I was watching the program yesterday, Kings and the Nuggets, and we saw a few highlights, and people around here in the city talked about how we only had the 2002 look, and, it was only that team. But a few that I saw with the Nuggets was David Thompson, and the gentleman that I want to ask you about is Alex English, who's a Hall of Famer. But and I don't know how you phrase this, but to say I feel like he's a forgotten Hall of Famer. He's someone that doesn't get anointed as one of the greatest. Took him a few years. I did some research yesterday because I wasn't up on Alex as I probably needed to be. Took him a few years to kind of get that scoring going, but once he established it, I mean, 8-time All-Star, over 23-time All-Star, Hall of Famer, so on and so forth. Two questions. Alex English, what do you remember about him? And what happened and why weren't the Denver Nuggets able to do anything in the 80s when he was the guy in the playoffs?
Well, that's a lot of questions. I'm going to give you a lot of answers here. One thing, Alex was an assistant coach for the Kings for a while.
I didn't know that.
Well, that's why I'm giving you information, Jay. You need to know stuff. But he...
do you remember what years?
Not really. It
okay.
seemed like...
I'll look it up.
I'm not sure, but really, what a good guy. But anyway, of course, I followed his career from South Carolina to being the second-round pick with the Pacers to then finding his niche, with the Nuggets. And, absolutely. He's a guy that should have been in the top 75 all time in my mind. As I think Whitey pointed out, I mean, I think he's kind of been one of those great players that's kind of been forgotten a little bit. Of course, I was unlucky enough to coach against him, and we could never guard him, so that's that. But nobody else could either. But the other thing, one of the reasons they couldn't do more in the West is there's a team, I don't know if you're aware of this, called the Showtime Lakers.
No, I never heard of them. I put them out of my mind.
Pretty good?
Yeah. So that's kind of like the Milwaukee Bucks teams of Don Nelson in the years in the East. It's like, well, no, there was the Celtics.
Right.
And so they could win 55 games and thank you very much. See you next year. But no, they were one of those teams that were going to win 55 games, and he was going to get 30 a game and do it so effortlessly. I think that was the thing that surprised me. And
what was his superpower
about Alex English? Nothing but good things.
What was his superpower, Legend? Most people remember him for scoring.
Well, that's what they should have remembered him for.
Right.
He wasn't going to be confused as a stopper defensively. But I mean, I think he was almost effortless in how he could score. It looked effortless. Again, he was very long-armed, surprising. I think it fooled people. He had a lot of length for a 6'7" guy. He was way longer than that, 6'8", and just shot the ball with a real quick, surprisingly quick delivery. I always thought it's. I know just talking to players that tried to guard him, and they always say they thought they were on him and the ball's away. One of those guys, and but he didn't. Of course, those days didn't shoot a lot of threes, but he was kind of a mid-range guy like DeMar, except he really didn't use many dribbles. He was one of those guys that he was going to escape dribble, but his release was so good that it's hard to get to him. But yeah, truly great player, great guy.
And he shot 51% for his career, Jerry.
Geez.
So
that's
hyper efficient, right?
Wild.
Yeah, it's one of those guys too. It didn't seem like he ever took a bad shot. I'm sure he did, but of course against us, he probably didn't have to take any bad shots.
There was one time one year he put 29.8. What year was that? That was 85, 86. I mean, he was putting up 30, just 23, 8, 25, 28, 26, 27, 29.
And, he had other big scorers with him. Dan Issel was a huge scorer, great player, and Pat Lever, probably another one of the more underrated, who was with the Kings for a number of years, but really one of the more underrated players, I think, because he was a great defender as well. But like you say, when you got down to it, hey, they weren't as good as Magic, Kareem, and Worthy. That's all.
No shame in that.
No shame in that.
Yeah. Before we let you go, I wanted to circle back and ask you one thing about this rebuild, because I know some people around here have been saying the Kings have never really gone through a rebuild, and I think you disagree with that. I apologize if I'm wrong. Have the Sacramento Kings ever gone through what you'd consider a full rebuild?
Well, I thought the Kings did. A 90, 98, 99 type thing. I mean, it was clearly coming off a real poor season where Eddie Jordan was the coach and Mitch Richmond got hurt late, and then the team won 24 games and had lost, I think, 18 out of 19 late, that sort of thing. That's about as bad as you can get. And so there wasn't many players from that team that came back and played because, like I say, you had, with Peja and Jay Will, they were new, as was Vlade and Weber. So it was that was pretty much a complete turnover. New coach as well.
And do you think that there'd be much demand around the league for any of the Kings' big contracts right now?
Today, probably not.
Yeah.
But I mean that changes. Yeah. I always say when Bradley Beal gets traded, that means anybody can be traded. Yep.
Is that what you always say?
That's what I always say.
Gotcha. Thank you for your time, Coach. We appreciate it very, very much.
Well, nice talking to you all, and have a good rest of the day.
All right, enjoy the game. Thanks,
See you
Jerry.
guys.
Yeah, the one and only Jerry Reynolds.
Dude, my favorite part was when he was like, I would have cussed him out. And I go, yeah, that's my kind of coach. He's like, can't do that now.
Yeah. Alex English today, huh, Jay? I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's actually one of those guys that if you didn't have the opportunity to really watch him in the 80s, I wasn't here, and for a lot of his career, starting in the late 70s. And then coming up, I was young. So, just got to get a little research in on Alex English. Yeah. He's a Hall of Famer, 8-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA. Why don't we talk about him more?
Because he was so smooth and he was just kind of unassuming. And he wasn't flashy, and he just did his job very, very well. On teams that weren't, they were overshadowed by so many other all-time great teams of that era.
In the 80s still. Portland had great teams in the 80s as well. Yeah. Makes sense. Of course, the Lakers, which I was hoping Jerry didn't bring them up.
Of course, he was like, the Showtime. Yeah. The Lakers.
What are you thinking tonight, Jay? Atlanta Hawks coming in.
Normally you say,
oh, you smell something.
I'm smelling a win today, baby. I'm smelling the W.
Yeah.
And it ain't the ribs.
I'm smelling a W too.
See?
I am.
See?
I think you got to get one at home here before you leave.
Mm-hmm. It's a good team.
It is a good team. No,
Where you going? Where you going, White?
I smell something.
You
You talking about
smell
ribs? I think
something
I
stanky?
smelled Domas's ribs. I think you got some,
no.
some
Cooked?
salve or something on it that I was
Cooked ribs?
I hope.
Tiger Mom?
Yeah,
Tiger
something
Mom.
that's very pungent. Yeah.
Dang.
You don't smell a W?
Sure.
Oh, we got him, Jay.
Absolutely.
It's all peer pressure.
him.
Yeah. Yeah.
You wasn't too convincing in that. You were, what'd you say about Alex English? He was unforth. What'd you say he was?
Unassuming.
Unassuming.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you were unassuming there a little bit.
All right. Thank you, Kayla. We
Thanks,
appreciate it very
guys.
much.
It's so fun.
Thanks for
Like
hanging
always.
out. We're back with you tomorrow, celebrating this Kings win that everyone's
There we go.
smelling. Yeah. And
Smell
win
it.
or lose, you know that the saga continues and we'll have lots more drama one way or the other. And that's what we're here for. So stick around because we got game night coming up. The high flyer Henry Turner, the low flyer Scott Marsh, and game night next on Sactown Sports.